Wait. It says you're live now.
Okay, excellent. So, we had a slight technical difficulty there, but we are back. Welcome to our live coverage of Party Brawl VI, provided by me, Vestborgr, doing the play-by-play commentary along with my fellow caster, Eohdorr, providing the color casting. Today we are tuning in to the losers bracket, which means that these are the teams that lost on day one, and they will be fighting through all the rounds today, hoping to make it to the grand finals. First game we're going to be jumping into is Dangerous versus the Party Squad. This is match L1 on the bracket if you're looking at the Battle 5 page. Right now we are in the lobby waiting for all the players to join. I believe we're waiting on just one more player. Got 9 of them in here right now from what I can see, so it should be just a short delay before we get you guys into Champion Select. While we're waiting real quick, I guess I'll throw it over to Eohdorr. Do you have any thoughts heading into this game or about any of the teams in the losers bracket today?
Most of the teams that we are seeing right now are going to be teams that we have not been able to see quite yet. Party Squad being beaten by the Obama-loving and Dangerous being defeated by the IRS. We saw those teams clash together when in the second game of what we were able to see, but we haven't seen either of these teams play yet. Curious to see what they want to bring out. It'll be the first time that they show up. And definitely curious to see Into the Rabbit Hole, which is another team that we've kind of gotten this side of the bracket where we haven't really seen any of these teams play yet. We may see a return of someone who we have seen play once we reach round 3 on the losers bracket, but should be fun and exciting. I'm still looking for some Jax top like we saw yesterday. It was amazing. Or some other high damage carries like Fiora. Maybe an Aurelia who decides to go top lane this time. I don't know. Crazy idea. But to throw a little bit of an update to everybody, if you haven't seen the brackets yet, GG will be facing the IRS in round 2. Those darn Vikings have to be disqualified due to lack of members showing up. So I will provide you with the information on who wins versus the IRS and .gg and provide any update on that when it becomes available. We'll probably see a resolution to that after this game, or at least during the next game, at the very least.
Well, should be fun. I believe still going to be just a minute or two before we can jump into Champion Select, but should be there shortly. We'll keep you guys updated as soon as possible. But I do agree that there is a lot of exciting matches today because, at least for us too, because we haven't seen some of these teams in action. We've seen the IRS, but with those Vikings, forfeiting is really just only teams left that we have not seen in action, which is always fun because we've seen a lot of kind of spicy picks, like you mentioned. I mean, we had Aurelia mid, we had the comp with the Fiora, Jax, and Aurelia all there, just like all trying to 1v5 the entire time. Was certainly a lot of fun to see, and I think we both enjoy seeing comps like that are not, I mean, people can it's fun to see a comp that's built around team fighting and cohesion, and let's have a big front line and the support, buffing up AC. Let's build that kind of comp. Or we can say, okay, let's just get a bunch of split pushers. Let's just go in 1v5 all the time. Let's just win lane and go. And I think that's also a lot of fun to see, and it takes a lot of it's very aggressive in the draft and in the way it was played, the way we saw it yesterday. So I'm definitely eager to see some more of that kind of aggressiveness today. It can be kind of bloody and chaotic to cast, to kind of follow, but it's also a lot of fun to watch.
You've got those times when you want to see a beautifully executed team fight composition, where you've got the Amumu landing the ult and then the Malphite tagged along with the Yasuo and the Sona all CC while the Twitch is hammering down. and you're just looking for that beautiful 5-person alt knockup, just complete wombo combo, or something like an Orianna and Wukong combo pairing up with let's say a Twitch again, or maybe something more Misfortune-esque. But then you've got the other side of the table where you've got the Aurelius just jumping in, killing one person, jumping in, killing the other person, and then saying, all right, I think I've had my fill. Kills another person, says, oh, wait, I'm sorry, I was just really hungry, and then just leaves. You want to see something that either works beautifully or something that's just so off the walls and cheesy that it works, because it's entertaining to see that as well. But we're in Champion Select.
We are indeed.
Let's see what they want to bring out.
Eager to see. Always curious to see, what kind of lanes they'll play around. And usually with these bans, like we kind of mentioned yesterday, it tends to be a lot of target bans. Like, that's the main thing. People look at an OP.GG seeing, okay, who's your main? Who can we ban out? But whether target bans or not, Warwick and Alistar are both strong bans. Warwick, a really strong solo queue jungler. Something we saw a lot of yesterday being taken off the table. Kai'Sa, same deal, really strong in the marksman role. Gonna be banned as well, along with the Alistar.
A little sad to see Kai'Sa go. I still want to see more Kai'Sas being played. It can be so painful to just get a ton of harass damage when you're facing that Kai'Sa down to the bottom lane. You just don't expect it. But I want to see more of the champions, so it kind of brings more highlight of what a person who's practiced them a lot could do, because you don't really know how practiced the Kai'Sas that you run into in normals are.
It's hard to know, but having watched some of the LCK playoffs, I have seen some very terrifying Kai'Sa play recently. Certainly a bit of a bummer to see her banned away, but that's just it. She's banned away because she can be terrifying to play against. So a fair number of bot lane bans, like Braum, Alistar, Kai'Sa, and Kog'Maw all banned away. Along with jungler and that top lane Renekton taken off the table. So we'll see if some bot laners get locked in early before the second banning phase, considering all those bans already came through. Want to secure something that's a little bit stronger before possibly more bans focused on the bot lane come through in that second banning phase. And that's exactly what Dangerous are going to do. They're going to lock in the Jinx. Ooh, and the response is the Rakan. So both teams on the same page, hoping to get some higher priority bot laners locked in early. Curious if we will see the Xayah. Obviously, Xayah and Rakan kind of prize played together, and that is going to be the lock-in, picking up that Lovers duo in the bot lane. Curious if Dangerous will look to pick up a support here. Knowing that Alistar and Braum were already off the table would not be a bad idea to lock in that support before further bans come through. Ooh, looks like the Hecarim being hovered by Nightworm, though. And it is locked in. So Hecarim, such an interesting jungler right now. Ever since Predator came out, really synergizes quite well with him. I don't believe he's seen much pro play at all, but certainly Hecarim, one of those kind of solo queue junglers that I think can get super fed and be pretty scary. Just flying across the map, tower diving you behind tier 2. Can be quite hard to deal with. Actually, Lux is going to be the lock-in, so not sure if that is a Lux support or Lux mid. I'm thinking it is going to be a Lux mid, just because there tends to be not that many swaps going on in these tournaments, but we'll have to wait and see, as Vel'Koz is the response. Another mage that could go mid lane, could go support as well, but with the Rakan already locked in, it should be a Vel'Koz mid, but not sure who his lane opponent will be, if it will be the Lux or if it will be somebody else.
And then there goes the Nasus. I like Lux into Vel'Koz, honestly. I believe it's they're both really long-range champions, and I think while Vel'Koz has an easier CC to throw down, and while he can be extremely painful, I think Lux is a lot easier harass in a way, because Vel'Koz's geometric understanding is just so limited by the geometry. And Lux, all she has to do is just point and click. Well, I guess point and press key, but her harass is a lot more accessible than Vel'Koz is. Not saying Vel'Koz has like almost no harass or it's really hard for him to land it, but it's a lot more accessible, and she has the range that's necessary to deal with someone like Vel'Koz.
So a ton of top lane bans coming through now. Nasus, Shen, and Jax, along with another support ban, the Morgana. Certainly the party squad wanting to limit that support pool a little bit more, considering they already have their support locked in. But the instant Irelia lock-in with that new reworked Irelia, along with the Tahm Kench. I know this is one of Ajani's favorite picks. Don't believe that he's feeling much pressure from those Alistar and Morgana bans. I assume that was just something hoping to mitigate that Rakan engage, or rather hoping to make sure it can't be mitigated by the Morgana, but the Tahm Kench pretty much does the same thing. This is something that's really, really heavily emphasized in the EU LCS, because the Tahm Kench is capable of just mitigating engage from something like Sejuani, something like a Rakan. The only problem is the Tahm Kench himself can get CC'd and locked down. So that's often where teams turn. Is instead of trying to get, say, the Jinx, they'll try to take down the Tahm Kench, and the Tahm Kench might have to buy QSS, pick up Cleanse as a summoner. Looks like he's not going to do that, but we'll have to see how they approach playing around the Tahm Kench. Certainly a powerful pick in the support role.
At least we get to see the Irelia top like I wanted. Get to see her being thrown up into the top. You can see how she's actually meant to be played. Ban away a Jax. Curious if that's because Jax is strong against Irelia. I believe old Irelia is weak against Jax. But I don't know about the new Irelia. Possibly same scenario, just different kit involved. But Irelia against a Riven, it's an interesting concept. I don't really know too much about the new Irelia or her new matchups, whether it affects their matchups much or not. So I can't give too much insight on that. Although I do believe that based on the small amount of experience I have with Irelia, I would imagine Irelia would win that lane. But it's questionable because Riven has some easy escapes out of her stun.
Should be a fun one up there in the top lane. Obviously, seeing that new Irelia is something we're looking forward to, and it is going to happen. With the Tahm Kench lock-in as well, it's now confirmed it is going to be that Lux against the Vel'Koz in the mid lane. So a lot of fun matchups across the board. Certainly a lot of strong picks. I mean, Xayah, Rakan, Tahm Kench, Sejuani, even the Jinx has seen a fair amount of pro play just because of that ability to, I think with Azir being such a strong pick, with, we're seeing a lot of Tristana, seeing a little bit of Twitch and Vayne earlier in the season. I think there's been a fair emphasis on, like, hyper carries this season, and I think for that reason, Jinx has always been sort of a borderline pro pick that's brought out sometimes, so certainly a lot of strong picks on both sides, and like I said, I'm also not overly familiar with how strong the Irelia is right now. I believe she was considered somewhat overpowered when she came out and was nerfed quickly. It is now somewhere in the vicinity of playable at the very least. Not sure. Certainly looked very impressive yesterday, though, regardless of how OP the pick is. It's certainly a good Irelia player, clearly able to have a big impact on the game. Well, we're just about 30 seconds away from hitting the Rift. I know you have any further thoughts on some of these matchups going down. I'm particularly a little bit curious about the Hecarim because I have not seen that as much. Like I said, I haven't seen it in pro play. Sejuani, always a really strong pick. Curious how the Hecarim will be able to handle that matchup in the jungle. And the mid lane matchup as well, you talked a little bit about Lux and Vel'Koz, and now we have confirmed that is what it's going to be.
I'd like to say that I think it's just all gank based. I think that Hecarim has the advantage should Sejuani try to invade or Hecarim try to pull off some kind of sneaky invade. I believe Hecarim will have the advantage because he has just a lot more damage. I don't think the stuns will give Sejuani the amount of free DPS to overcome that. So got to be careful of running into Hecarim. But Hecarim's got a lot more freedom to move around and builds mobility as well as damage into his kit naturally. So it's going to be rough to out-gank him, but Sejuani's got plenty more crowd control. I would say it's just another situation of who's going to be more aggressive early on. And based on the lanes, I would have faith that Hecarim's going to be a little bit more aggressive early on. I think he's going to be wanting to help out Aurelia and Lux a little bit more. It's just a lot harder for Sejuani to gank someone like a Lux and someone like an Aurelia than it is for Hecarim to gank someone like a Riven and a Vel'Koz. Granted, I am ignoring a little bit about the bot lane because Tahm Kench just kind of kills any chance of Sejuani to really get anything done. And I don't believe with the root, Hecarim will be able to get Xayah or get Rakan with his unlimited friggin' dash pool. Oh, man, but we have a stopwatch on the Vel'Koz. All right, I have 100% faith that Vel'Koz will win this lane.
Stopwatch meta returns. It certainly does come in handy. I mean, even with, like, the old 10-man, you know, everyone has a stopwatch thing kind of being gone, like, I'm still watching pro play, like, a lot of instances where a stopwatch is saved for, like, 30 minutes of a game, and then just comes in handy in a team fight, because if you have a really quick fight, and you're able to just buy yourself, like, 2 seconds of invulnerability, it's actually a huge deal. I mean... And it is funny to see this come through. I mean, you say, oh, GG, stopwatch wins, but we'll have to see if it does come in handy. You know, I think oftentimes it can save you a death. It can even win your team a fight later in the game. Have to see how he uses it. It's
a nice clutch save. And I'm not going to lie, sometimes I just keep forgetting that I have it, because I just kind of resign myself to death so many times, because there's actually so many scenarios where, like, your early game, you're like, just those 2 seconds of inner vulnerability will not save you, or you don't believe that it'll buy you enough time that'll make it worth saving. Like, you won't get a kill out of it, or you know you can live if you don't do it, or you know you're dead no matter what you do. Sometimes you just don't want to use it, which is why you can easily see someone holding onto it for like 30 minutes. Which is normal jungle pattern for Hecarim. Not for Sejuani, though. She started red, a lesser leash. So curious on if she's going to try to do an early bottom lane gank against the Tahm Kench.
Not sure. We'll have to keep an eye on him. Got a leash from that Riven, who is trading with the Aurelia right now, but getting the worst of it to begin with. Sejuani heading over to Raptors as Hecarim goes to his blue buff, it looks like. Once again, the Raven on the Riven. Not having a good time against this Aurelia, who's going in once again. Doesn't get any damage off there. Riven going with the Conqueror Keystone, which is considered to be pretty good on Riven right now. Soul Sniper on the Aurelia, sticking with the press the attack.
Indeed, and an Infernal Dragon being the first one sent up. I like that. It's a lot of damage for someone like a Riven and Vel'Koz to get, along with the Xayah. Jinx could help. Plenty of damage coming out from the Lux, but Sejuani's coming bot.
Well, here she comes. I don't see this coming at all. Engage from the Rakan. Meanwhile, trade there in the top lane. Riven against the Aurelia. Riven's dropping very low. Does get the shield. Ignite goes out on the Soul Sniper, but he will get the kill. Meanwhile, flash away from the Jinx. And the Sejuani does fall. Action here in the mid lane is Vel'Koz is ganked by Nightworm. He has got no health, and he is gone. Nightworm picks up the kill. So, kills in all 3 lanes at basically the exact same time. Direction camera having a difficult time managing that.
Really a nice 1v1, but exactly how I thought it might end out. Hecarim ganking mid early, just trying to get Lux a little bit ahead, and Sejuani, not what I expected, just trying to gank bottom early, and It's a Tom Kench.
Ooh,
It's
flash from Johnny. Here is Hecarim to join. Empty Cup has already flashed away. Here comes Hecarim. A lot of damage. One more stack will get the stun on the Tom Kench. They're looking for it. Does get the Devour. Now throwing it back onto his team. The Choppers are there, and Dr. Disrespect Me picks up the kill on the Jinx. Dr. Medic is there on the Lux for good measure. Moral support, but 4 kills already on the board for Dangerous. They're looking good right out of the gates. It's not action on the Rakan. Don't think they can pick up a kill here, though.
Some incredibly aggressive plays out of Hecarim early on. A little bit, possibly too overstepping from the Sejuani, but definitely good effort for trying. And I didn't even see that. I didn't realize that Riven had gotten the kill on Aurelia immediately afterwards. I guess the Ignite was just too much for Aurelia to shield through.
Yeah, I think she was taking a little bit of minion aggro as well, but here we could have a repeat. Actually, Riven getting far better of this fight. Aurelia could be in trouble. Looks like let's back away. Raven not feeling like he has the kill just yet. Doesn't have that level 6, that extra bit of damage he might be looking for. But a good trade for him nonetheless. Actually winning the CS battle as well. Up 13 over Soul Sniper's Aurelia right now. CS pretty even in all the other lanes. Here comes Nightworm coming mid again. No flash or barrier on the Vel'Koz. Flash from Medic, but will not land the binding.
Sejuani is there. Gotta be careful.
Things coming down.
Sejuani.
Both junglers are just drifting away from the mid lane. Could have some action top lane, though. Looks like Sejuani is either looking for an invade, perhaps. Heading top, just heading towards that Gromp right now. Nightworm's Hecarim is there, though.
Hecarim's got a lot more mana, even though he's just lacking a little bit in health. Like, this isn't going to end well for Sejuani if it ends up just being a 1v1. Aurelia's got a much easier position to help.
A little bit of action there in the bot lane, but nobody falling just yet. Only flash available for Ivy-Shot's Rakan. All other summoners are gone.
Sejuani gets away with it too, even throws down a nice control ward for...
Riven has level 6, could be looking for the kill, has the ulti, and there it goes. Soul Sniper falls. Raven's Riven is now 2, 1, and 0.
Well done, indeed. Really, I'm probably just saying a little bit too long. Just did not want to have to waste that teleport in order to get back to lane.
Indeed, will use it now, though. So, of course, Soul Sniper with the teleport, but here comes Nightworm heading mid towards that Vel'Koz. No summoner, there's so much damage. Here comes the ulti from Lux, the barrier, and he will die to the burn. Just barely picking up yet another kill on Reigning Eclipse. Nightworm and Dr. Medic having a great time for Dangerous here in the mid lane.
But so far, 1 gank from Hecarim in the bot lane and 3 in the mid lane. He is just trying to run this Vel'Koz out of this lane.
Absolutely. Still more time before that flash will be up, and the barrier is now down for a significantly longer period of time. Return gank definitely a possibility. Both the mid laner and the jungler of Dangerous are hovering around that Infernal Drake, hoping to get some control there perhaps. Certainly both teams would not mind picking up that heavily prized Drake. And they'll actually start it right now. Nightworm is on it, but here comes the party squad. They've caught Johnny. There's a binding onto the Tamale. Sejuani could be in trouble here as Nightworm picks up the kill. Vel'Koz left to back away. Reigning Eclipse. We'll see if he looks for a steal perhaps, but Smite is available for Nightworm. And it will come through. Infernal Drake for Dangerous.
And the next one is Ocean. A little bit less of a better dragon, but not too terrible if you got a poking champion like Lux. Really, it wants something here, but Riven's just smacking away.
Yeah, decent trade there once again for Raven. Up 14 CS right now. Actually, Nightworm on the Hecarim is up 9 over Tamale Sejuani. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Dr. Disrespect Me is up 10 CS over Empty Cup at the moment. The Jinx actually getting the better of that early matchup, not least in part due to some roams from Dr. Medic, and of course the constant help of Nightworm, who has been all over the place on this Hecarim. Looking top lane right now. We'll spot out that ward as Tamale picks up his blue buff. Perhaps looking bot is the Sejuani.
It's warded out. They'll never get in. Just goes to clear the control ward. Just want to get rid of that ward for future dragons.
Indeed. Could be hitting bot right now, though. They will see the ward. Chompers go down, and he'll just clear that out. Perhaps looking for a return gank. Now they've got the control ward there. They will have some avenue. Won't be able to do that tri-brush gank that they tried earlier, although that did not work out for them. A bit of over-aggressive play actually gave kills over to the bot lane of Dangerous, as now Eclipse's Vel'Koz is heading down into the river. 4 men strong is the party squad. We'll see if they look for something. They are going to try to gank bot, it looks like. Vel'Koz is going to find that control ward in the tri-brush and backing away. This is already spotted out by the bot lane of Dangerous. Playing very safe and intelligently there, and that gank will not amount to anything.
Vel'Koz is going to just lose about 4 minions, though. Not too bad. Lux is here just in case Vel'Koz didn't show back up. Still sticking around, though. Maybe looking for something else of her own. Maybe looking to catch out Rakan when he goes to try to clear the control ward. Could
be. The Sejuani will clear out that control ward, so they don't know Lux is here right now.
No, they do. She was spotted out by the ward.
What ward?
The control ward. She walked out in front of it.
Well, I thought he took it down in time. But we have a fight right now. Tamale taking a lot of damage. Flash away by Sejuani. It's a 3v4 they do not want. Here comes Hecarim, 1v4. Could be in trouble, though. He's charmed up, knocked up, and he is gone. There comes the Lux ult. Sejuani dropping very low. Flashes from the Xayah and the Sejuani. Jinx will get the kill. 1 for 1 right now. Both junglers dead. Looking for something else. The slow from the Lux. Binding will just barely not connect on the Vel'Koz.
Vel'Koz has still got his ult, though. This is not something that they can win easily. Same with Xayah. Just gonna back off, accept that. A little bit of passiveness from Riven and Aurelia, kind of. Both just full health. A little bit used mana on Aurelia, but nothing too serious.
Brief trade here in the top lane. Right now, Riven with a 15 CS advantage, looking pretty strong right now. But here comes Hecarim. Hecarim looking to gank. Riven does have Flash and Ignite, but gets the fear off. Does all, doing a lot of damage to the Hecarim. Might be looking for a kill, gets it. Flashes away. And now Sejuani there to help. Should be a 1v2 kill. And now the tables are turned into 2v1. Tamale coming in. 1 stack of that Sejuani stun coming in. Tries to trade back a kill onto Riven, but that is 2 kills for Raven, which is now 4-1-0 there in the top lane. A 1v2 kill. Impressive play there from Raven.
It seems Riven's ability to just escape the stun is just a lot better than Aurelia's just natural stats. It seems Riven's got a huge edge in this lane. And is going to be able to finish off her Black Cleaver.
So a lot of early aggression from Nightworm worked out very well, particularly in the mid lane, but now has died bot lane and top lane. Hecarim not finding so much success the last few minutes of the game.
May change, though. He's still been incredibly aggressive.
Have to see where he heads next. Might find a Sejuani there in that top river. Raven is there joining. There comes the ultimate. He is stunned. He is knocked up by the Riven, and another kill going over. Good work from Tamale. Did not have much mana, just enough for the ultimate, which comes through. Chain CC with Raven, and yet another kill. That Riven is going to be monstrous.
5-1-0. That's the kind of score you want to see in your solo queue games when you get a Riven.
And when it's on your team.
Yeah. Definitely not what you want to see when they're on the enemy team. It's kind of a worst case scenario.
Here comes Raven going for another trade. Soul Sniper not having a good time there in the top lane. That Riven is very difficult to deal with right now. Barrier actually comes out from Eclipse. Ultimate is available, but will not connect from Medic. Still looking for something. Now here comes the Vel'Koz ultimate. Barrier traded back from Medic, who will just barely live. Flash is available from Eclipse. Might be looking for something. Here comes Johnny with that Abyssal Voyage. And here comes Nightworm. He will get the kill onto reigning Eclipse, who used his flash but falls nonetheless. Getting some pressure onto that bot lane turret is the bot lane of Party Squad with the Tahm Kench not there, but he has returned with a Hecarim. Perhaps looking for at least getting a summoner spell. He is going in, flashes in, gets the knockback and the fear, forces the flash from MT Cup, but now Tamale is there. We'll be looking for something. There comes the Featherstorm. Here comes the trade. Jinx dropping very low, uses the heal. Ignite is down. Rakan might fall here. Tamale looking for the kill on the Jinx. 2v1 right here. Sejuani might have overstepped, and Nightworm does pick up the kill. Exhaust comes through. Jinx ulti is there, and there is the kill for Tahm Kench. 1 kill for all 3 members of Dangerous, as they now have huge pressure here in the bot lane. The Jinx now 3-0-4. Certainly Raven's Riven looking good, but just as good in the bot lane is Dr. Disrespect Me.
It's definitely got 2 sides of the
Flash away from Soul
here.
Sniper there in the top lane.
You've got the Fed AD carry Jinx with 3-0-4, and then you've got the Fed Riven 5-1-0. You could say Lux is getting a little bit fed herself, 1-0-3. Can't discount those assists just because they're assists.
Overall, the gold swing about 3.5k in favor of Dangerous at the moment. They do get that first tower there in the bot lane, so despite... Oh, here comes some action. Lux ult comes through. Stopwatch used. We'll see if he still lives. Nope, there comes the Devour from Johnny, who will pick up the kill. So reigning Eclipse on the Vel'Koz 0-4. Same score for Tamale, of course, with 2 more assists. Who's now getting fought by that Hecarim. Nightworm doing a lot of damage here. Here comes the stun. Riven is here, though. Gotta be careful as flash away from Tamale. Johnny follows with a flash, but don't think he can get her. Almost looking to tower dive, but he might be too deep right now as Riven looking for the kill. Does have ultimate available, does get the kill on the Tahm Kench, but now action here in the top lane as the Xayah is destroyed by Soul Sniper's Aurelia. Nightworm, though, there's a double kill for Raven and left to back away as Medic. Now Jinx perhaps looking for the kill, does not have the ultimate available right now. Looking for something, trying to get the stun is the Riven. Flash away, 1 more auto would do it, but here comes Ivy Shots for Khan, and Radiant Eclipse on the Vel'Koz is there to join. Quickness comes through, but Raven's Riven now 7-1-0. Continuing to show that odds do not matter to him.
Perhaps flashing just a little bit too far on the Jinx got him a nice safe distance away from Riven, but kind of got him completely out of auto attack range as well. But there's still the fact that Jinx and Riven are both really fed. They're both like pretty equal in gold, I would say. 300 gold difference, not too much. It's a boot, a tier 1 boot difference. So both of them are really strong. Got to look to see what they want to do later on. Riven's a perfect champion to go in and dive for that Jinx, though. It's going to be up to how Jinx and Tahm Kench play together, because if Tahm Kench can't protect Jinx from the Riven, then it's just going to be all over.
Johnny wandering towards that Rift Hero, but he might be spotted out here. That bot lane duo of the Party Squad is in the area. Riven doing a lot of damage to this bot lane outer turret. Looks like Rift Hero is on the table, but a ton of vision for the Party Squad in the area. Raven, meanwhile, has a massive wave here in the bot lane. Might be able to pick up this turret. There is nobody close to responding. Starting up that Rift Hero, but that control ward did not spot out the ward. The Party Squad knows this is happening. They have wards all over the place as Raven does pick up that turret. We could have a steal coming through. Here comes Ivy Shot to get Charm onto everybody. Running away is Dangerous in full retreat as that Rift Tail just gets leafed for them. But here comes Johnny and Soul Sniper looking for the Sejuani. There comes the Lux ult. Sejuani falls. Here comes a further engage. The reinforcements are here. MT Cup falls. Ivy Shot is on the retreat. Vel'Koz left to just throw a Q there. in an attempt, but oh, Radiant Eclipse could be in trouble here. Looking for the kill is Soul Sniper, chasing him down. There comes the knockup, will peel him away for now, but it just looks like a matter of time till he does fall. Here comes Raven, perhaps looking for a kill onto Lux, does have the ultimate. Lux is gone. The Dramatic bursted down in like half a second there by Raven, who's now 8-1 and 0. And still, Radiant Eclipse finding his way away. Does cancel the recall. He could have gotten away, I think, but now they've found him. They have indeed. Still on the run, though. I'm not sure if they can get him. No flashes available.
Aurelian, stop chasing, and he gets away.
I cannot believe that. He actually finds his way out of what looked like sure death. Radiant Eclipse survives.
That is crazy. I think if you're going to chase that far, you might as well commit to the full chase.
Yeah.
But anyways, definitely a bad fight for the party squad originally, because their Fed character was not there. Riven was not there for the majority of the fight. Picked up a kill later on and got that Lux, so good job for that. But Jinx was there at the very beginning during the Rift Herald fight. It was just not something that you really wanted to take, in my opinion.
Yeah, they knew it was happening the whole time. They had the vision. They prepared something, and it looked good early, but then Irelia and Tahm Kench both came in and completely turned the fight, and it was a 5v4, and they just straight up lost it. Like you said, no Riven available. They are going to use that Rift Herald. Should be able to knock down this mid lane outer turret without a problem. Might have a fight. There goes down the binding. A lot of CC onto Tamale, and he is already gone. Looking for a little bit of counter damage is Raven, but won't find a kill just yet as another Rift Herald charge comes through onto that mid lane inner turret, but it will fall eventually. The Rift Herald, rather, not the turret.
Oh, Rakan getting very close with 40 or so health.
Just barely makes it out. MT got very low as well, but sticking around. Here comes the Riven, flash forward, does have the ultimate available, looking for a kill. Tahm Kench flashes with the Devour, will save his carry for the time being. So a lot of ultimates expended there by the party squad, and the flash by Raven, but Jajajani coming up clutch, saves the Jinx, and nobody on Dangerous will fall in this fight as they maintain a 4.4k gold lead at the moment.
That was very dangerous because Jinx got almost completely bursted by the Riven. Tahm Kench got stunned along with the Jinx, so there was no hope for him to quickly eat Jinx out of that problem there. So that was exactly what Riven wanted. Unfortunately for her, she just doesn't have quite enough damage to really finish the job when Jinx has to burn through the heal. Either got to have faster reactions on the Jinx flash, or got to be a lot in better positioning for Tahm Kench in order to keep Jinx safe, because otherwise these fights won't turn so lucky.
Here comes some action here in the mid lane as ulting away is Nightworm. Meanwhile, bot lane duo of Dangerous pick up that top lane outer turret. 3-1 now in turrets. 5.5k gold lead for Dangerous. On the other hand, Party Squad did get some small consolation. They pick up that Ocean Drake, ran right there after the fight. Dangerous had no vision in the area, but gold lead continuing to favor Dangerous right now, and with the Jinx on their side, late game is certainly something they are not afraid of getting into.
Maybe, I don't know, I hate getting it so early because it always feels so punishing because those first 3 items are so critical. But maybe a Mercurial Scimitar wouldn't be too bad. You got the Rakan knockup, you got the Sejuani ult, you got the Riven engage, and you've got the Xayah snare, which isn't too hard to land. It would be a lot safer for Jinx.
Have to see that lifesteal coming in handy as well. I suppose it depends how much he trusts Jajajani to devour him out of trouble, to be there when he needs him. Or if he wants to just trust his own trigger finger, pick up that QSS, pick up that Mercurial, make sure you can get out of that CC. You're absolutely right. There is a lot available for the party squad. And both teams kind of hovering around mid lane. Soul Sniper headed to the bot lane along with Raven, both top laners. content to kind of push on their own. Worth noting, though, Soul Sniper has the teleport. He can join his team. Raven does not have the luxury. Remember that Rift Herald fight. Raven was not there and had to run all the way across the map to get there. Did get a kill in the end, but was too late. As here comes Quick Disengage onto Dr. Medic. Could be in trouble here. Chain CC looking for the Devourer is Johnny, but won't find it as Dr. Medic already falls. Not Johnny is in the middle of 5 members of the party squad. Raven coming in. Sejuani's stun is stacking up, and he will fall. Vel'Koz knockup. There is a double kill for Radiant Eclipse. Finally getting a couple of kills there on the party squad's mid laner who had a bad time of it early on in the game.
In a crazy, crazy fight.
Indeed, and now with some pressure on the mid lane, it's the party squad, but clearing out the waves pretty effectively is Disrespect Me on the Jinx. Has that Runins already, plus the rockets means a fair amount of wave clear available for Dangerous. Meanwhile, Raven putting pressure on this top lane. Basically just ignoring Nightworm right now. Now comes the fight. Raven does have the ultimate available. They got to be careful. My mistake, she actually does not have it. About 25% of that cooldown left. Otherwise, that may have been a kill. Actually, Tamale invading towards that top lane. This is Johnny taking the voyage alone, but here comes Nightworm with the ultimate. Could be in trouble, though. Ignite down onto Raven. Devour from Johnny to save his jungler. And just about every ultimate thrown Raven's way. Not a great chance of surviving that, but now looking for their own 3v1. Our party squad there in the mid laner. Flash away from Soul Sniper. Has the Wit's End and the Iceborne. Means he's fairly tanky right now, not to mention the Jarum's Fist. Now looking for a kill, perhaps is Disrespect Me chasing down the Vel'Koz. Does have the flash available. Won't use it just yet, though. Playing very safe and smart on the Jinx so far. We saw him previously in that fight with the Aurelia, or rather with the Riven. Flashing away from the stun. Didn't get the kill, but survived. Still has yet to die in this game. As barrier used by Radiant Eclipse, who is very low. Super Mega Death Rocket not available right now. About a third of that cooldown left, but picking up that mid lane inner turret are Dangerous. Extending that gold lead now about 5.7k. They have a lot of control in the area. A lot of great wards actually from Party Squad deep in the red side and blue side jungles of Dangerous. But picking up that red buff will be Nightworm. Raven looking for something, but is on a ward and won't find anything. Oh, bit of a blast cone mess up there as Johnny leaves his jungler. But Hecarim, fairly mobile, especially with the Dead Men's Plate, with the Swifties, with the Predator. Won't have an issue, just galloping away down towards his Raptors. So right now just kind of resetting the map, but not a lot of Baron vision available for the side of Dangerous. And actually some pings coming through. I think they've canceled the recalls because they're worried about a Baron rush. Oh, they could be outnumbered here. Here comes Nightworm. A lot of damage onto the Radiant Eclipse, who flashes away but falls to Nightworm. Now this is a 4v2. Flashing away is the Jinx. Ivy Shot could be in trouble here, very low. Here comes Riven, though, looking to turn the fight. Super Mega Death Rocket will not find anyone. In retreat are Dangerous, but in the end, it is only Radiant Eclipse who falls. Yet another one fight. Raven maybe looking for something here, but that Tom Kunch is pretty tanky. Actually, now we're going to be looking for the stun onto the Riven. Finds it. This could be trouble, though. Riven is pretty tanky, and it has a Rakan support. Failed flash from Nightworm. Unfortunately, Johnny does not fail his, and now still looking for the Riven. Now Rakan could be caught. Stuck between a Jinx Rocket and a Lux. Final Spark there does fall to the Jinx. Still looking for the kill onto Raven, who is pretty tanky. Instead, they'll turn onto Tamale, who falls. Featherstorm and Flash there. Root onto Nightworm means that Empty Cup will get away right now. But overall, a long, drawn-out, disastrous fight for the Party Squad.
Another Infernal Dragon is up. It would be nice for a Lux and Jinx to pick that back up, but I think they may try to go for an inhibitor tower here, or maybe not. They're backing off.
They're considering it. Here comes Raven. Does have the flash, looking for the Lux, but a great Devour from Johnny combined with the Chompers means Raven might not be able to find anything. Still looking. But this is a 1v4 right now. He's going to have a hard time finding the Lux, but he does nonetheless. Stun comes through. A lot of CC from Ivy Shot. Great quickness and a knock-up there. Ignite onto Dr. Disrespect. He could be in trouble. Xayah with the kill. Empty Cup picks up that kill. Now running in full retreat. Ivy Shot, Empty Cup, Iranian Clip facing him down. Knock-up will not connect, but he is going to fall eventually. It is a double kill for Empty Cup. And Nightworm left to recall alone. So overall, looked like a bad engage for Raven there. He was heavily outnumbered, but he stayed patient. Pressed the attack, and finally they pick up a couple of kills on their AD carry, and they'll pick up an Infernal Drake to boot to equalize it at 1 Infernal Drake apiece.
Next one is an Ocean, and it was a lot better of a Devour. Tahm Kench was in a beautiful position to make that work. Unfortunately for them, the Lux Binding did miss, so it turned out to be really bad for... Good escape there from Rakan. Really bad for... Team Dangerous, because then Riven just got so much health back from that entire engagement. And then Tahm Kench just had Riven eaten for so long. It's not what you want when you're facing the Riven, because the Riven's happy with that. She's not taking any extra damage. She's waiting on her cooldowns, which are pretty low, and it just gives her all the time she needs to recuperate.
Yeah, unfortunately, Johnny hoping to devour and then throw Riven into his team so she could be killed, but instead threw Riven into his team so she could kill Lux and still get away. And now Riven with that Death's Dance 9-2-4. Raven looking extremely impressive on that champion right now, having a hard time dealing with it, are dangerous. Sejuani could be caught out here. Sejuani's stun is stacking up. There come the Chompers, hoping to get his support out. Is Dr. Disrespect Me. Now here comes the turn. So much damage from the Hecker. Radiant Eclipse uses barrier. There goes Tamale. Radiant Eclipse should fall soon. There comes that final spark. Will not connect. Looking for the kill. Are dangerous. Nightworm will find it. Here comes the engage onto Johnny, who could be caught by Empty Cup, who will burst him down. Now looking for the kill is the Jinx. Featherstorm is there, still chasing our Medic and Disrespect Me. Flash Binding will kill both of them. Double kill for Medic. Great play from him there as Soul Sniper actually winning this fight against Raven somehow here in the top lane. Looking for the kill, but no! Raven with a sliver of health manages to get the kill and survives.
Oh man, that was so close. So close. I want to see just how much... Oh man. I want to see just how much health Riven had.
They're actually starting the Baron, just 2 people here. This may have been spotted out, and Nightworm getting very low. I'm not sure they can actually do this. Might have to smite early. Looking to... Yep, there comes the early smite, and Riven sees it with the ward. Have to back away. Trying to 2-man Baron there are dangerous, but they will not be able to finish it. Left to retreat, so pick up that blue
Riven
buff.
got away. Riven got away with that with 30 health. So close.
Yeah, I was surprised to see Soul Sniper looking like he got the better of the duel for quite a while there, but as it always happens, as soon as those cooldowns come up for Riven, all of a sudden fights can turn.
That's the kind of thing that I'm talking about with the Infernal Dragons. If that Infernal Dragon had been there for Team Dangerous, that would have been a win for Aurelia, 100%. Or at least if the party squad did not get Infernal, then Riven definitely would have died. It's these reasons that I really love Infernal Dragon, because it offers that just little bit of damage that you need for your internal calculations to almost always be accurate.
Binding will not connect as the party squad is dancing around mid lane right now.
So, once again, another dragon being Ocean, not really a big thing for either side, I believe. I mean, it's good for Vel'Koz and Lux, but I can't really say it's especially great for anyone else. Just, it offers them a lot of poke. But Xayah doesn't really have any mana problems whatsoever once she gets that Essence Reaver and, like, the 2nd/3rd crit item. Oh, man.
Here comes the engage. Flash from Soul Sniper looking for Raven. Are they? She is caught in the middle of 5 people. There comes the final spark, and Soul Sniper with the kill. Raven caught out of position there and not able to get away. Now looking for more. Are dangerous, but they will back off right now, perhaps turning onto the Baron. They do have a 5v4 advantage right now. Vision available. They'll start it right away. Sweeper will spot out that ward. We'll see if more come through. A little bit of poke damage coming through. Party Squad just firing away, but this could be a 50-50 smite. Looking for the steal is Tamale. Goes in. Will he get it? It is the Vel'Koz that gets the Baron. Party Squad pick it up. They get the kill on Tamale. Now looking for a fight. Featherstorm is there. Triple knockup from Radiant Eclipse. Triple kill from Empty Cup. Looking for the Penta. Kills Johnny. Has the quadra kill. Only the Jinx is alive right now. But backing away our Party Squad, not hoping to overchase for that Penta. But a huge win for Party Squad. They managed to get this. They get a smite. I actually don't know if either jungler smited there, but the Vel'Koz gets the kill on the Baron.
Okay, so funny story here. Hecarim did not have smite. Sejuani did have smite, but smited a champion instead.
Well.
So it turns out one jungler had smite, but used it on something else other than the Baron, so it ended up going over to Vel'Koz.
Well, still a 3.3k gold lead for the side of Dangerous, but that Baron buff on 2 members of Party Squad. And wow, what a story there on the Baron. Dangerous starting it up immediately without a smite available. Meanwhile, Tamale with the smite could have secured it. Did not smite the Baron, but Radiant Eclipse with the clutch play. Disintegration Ray does take down that Baron.
He knew
This Ocean Drake. Yeah, it was calculated. He was like, all right. Now, guys, we're gonna try to steal this Baron. I'm gonna smite champion. Vel'Koz, you take it. All right, we got it. Ooh, looking for something is Nightworm, but that is 4 members, and now chasing him down is Empty Cup. Has to ult away, does Nightworm. Empty Cup looking very strong on that Xayah. Has 4 items now, including the Rage Blade. But here comes the Jinx, gets that, get excited passive. Featherstorm will not connect, but bursting out immediately by Empty Cup, who does fall to the Lux. There comes the Disintegration with Johnny and Medic. This is a 3v2, but Nightworm is very low. Flash away from Radiant Eclipse. Here comes Soul Sniper, hoping to clean something up, but will not find anything. So it looked like a great fight for the Jinx. Gets that first kill to begin the passive, but bursted down in a second by the Xayah. In the end, it winds up being a 1-for-2 in favor of Dangerous, though.
It was quite a series of strong crits, I think.
Oh, here comes Raven, does have the flank. They have spotted her out, and will just hop over the wall as Dangerous backs away.
So, gotta give both teams credit. Both of them fighting tooth and nail, like just looking for these picks here. Both Xayah and Jinx about equally as strong with each other. Both have 400 gold of a difference between each other. Riven's still having 3,000 over Aurelia, so definitely still really strong on the level of Jinx and Xayah. Hecarim slouching behind just a wee bit by about 1,500. So these are the kind of big key players in all of this. Is the Riven, the Xayah, and the Jinx a little bit ahead of the Hecarim / Aurelia. But oh man, is this a tooth and nail fight? Everything is coming so close together. But it is in the favor of Dangerous because they have a 5,000 gold lead. They don't have as many dragons, but they do have a little bit of a tower gold difference.
There's a fight here in the mid lane. Nightworm waiting in the wings. Here comes the flash, quickness, there comes the knockup, and then looking for that ultimate from the Sejuani, but Empty Cup taken very low. Featherstorm comes out. Here comes the final spark. Empty Cup is already dead, looking for the kill onto the Jinx. Both AD carries are dead. Ivy shot very low. Now Nightworm looking for the kill onto the Rakan. Here comes the Raven, though. She is on the back line, looking for that kill. There comes Ivy shot, chasing down to the Johnny. Sejuani passive is stacking up. Stun will come through. Tom Kench will fall. Right now, a 1-for-2 in favor of the Party Squad. Looking for this mid lane inner turret. Dr. Medic left to retreat right now. Gotta be careful. There comes the Disintegration Way, and it will not get the kill. But there comes the flash from Tamale, and that will get the kill onto Medic. So a 1-for-3 for Party Squad, and to pick up that mid lane inner turret. They could be looking for an inhibitor turret right now. They have the cannon minion. Taking aggro is Raven. able to survive that pretty well. Don't think Soul Sniper was there for any of that fight. And now left to watch his mid lane inhibitor fall. Nightworm and Soul Sniper both, actually. They almost forgot to last hit the inhibitor. Now looking for something. But Ivy Shot will just run away. Super Mega Death Rocket will not find anyone. Perhaps rotating bot. Some ping is coming through from the party squad there. Meanwhile, Raven looking top lane. That top lane outer turret still standing for Dangerous, but very low. And with 2 members of party squad on the way, it may fall very soon. Baron in a minute and a half. Both teams could have their eye on that objective. Here comes Tom Kench alone, though. That's a lot of damage, a lot of chain CC, and he takes the Abyssal Voyage to his death as the top lane outer turret just falls immediately afterwards.
This is a really questionable play, in my opinion. Like,
not sure if he meant for somebody to jump in and take the Voyage with him, so he'd have some support, but going alone...
He did it immediately. He did it immediately, so like no one was anywhere near, so he knew that he was going alone. I think he just expected to survive that a lot easier, but you're facing off against a really fed Xayah and a really fed Riven. That's just not going to go well for you. These are 2 high damage champions, and one with the Black Cleaver, so both of their physical damage is going to hurt like a truck.
He's got a lot of tanky stats there, but that's not going to do a whole lot against a full build Riven and a nearly full build Xayah.
You might as well just send... You might as well have just sent Jinx up there, because that'd pretty much be the exact same result.
I think the rest of his team is glad they did not take that Voyage with him. Well, right now, about 55 seconds on that next Drake, and 15 seconds on the Baron. A control ward is there for Party Squad. Not a lot of vision in the area for Dangerous, but they're on their way up there.
This is going to be an Elder Dragon, too, so no more of those Infernals/Oceans to be popped up and had.
Certainly, Party Squad, they would love to have that triple stack Elder Dragon. Right now, though, both teams hovering around the Baron. Will someone start it? We had a very interesting series of events at the Baron last time. Have to imagine something close to as interesting will happen right now as Nightworm clears out some vision there. Does take aggro from the Baron, takes a little bit of damage.
Party Squad has got a lot of back ward vision, so they know that they're
1v1 here in the bot lane, perhaps. Here comes Raven versus Soul Sniper. A lot of early damage there coming through from the Riven. Looking for some kind of turn is the Aurelia, but it looks like Riven has the upper hand. Ooh, but the Syrinx Gauge and a flash away. Meanwhile, starting the Baron, there comes Disintegration Ray, and Smite comes through from Tamale this time, picking up the kill. Xayah with a double kill, Xayah with a triple kill. Meanwhile, Soul Sniper falls there in the bot lane. Disaster for Dangerous on both fronts. They lose the Baron, they lose everyone but Dr. Medic. And now, this could be game, or at least a lot of objectives for the side of the Party Squad.
Running mid is only Sedge, Rakan, and Vel'Koz. No Xayah or Riven, unfortunately for them, but they may not need anything more. 30 seconds on the
death timers. Only Medic is available, trying to do something, but Baron buff plus 3 members. Only 1 Nexus turret is left. Good binding there. Does not have the final spark available right now. Barrier comes through from Raining Eclipse. Now the Nexus is exposed. 3 members of Party Squad firing away, throwing down blue trinkets. Not a lot Medic can do, doing his best. But that is not enough as the Nexus explodes. Victory for the Party Squad.
Did you see that the Nexus technically had 40 health left? The game is not over yet. It could be anyone's game, honestly.
Absolutely. Stay tuned.
But in a serious note, definitely great job from both sides fighting tooth and nail for it. A little bit less of aggressive plays early that I would have liked to see from Sejuani, but definitely some really strong plays out of Raven. Definitely some strong positioning from NT Cup later on in the game, becoming a huge terror in her own right. Raining Eclipse, some pretty good ults from the Vel'Koz, but I'm going to give the MVP over to Raven, just constantly winning those 1v1s and sometimes 1v2s up in the top lane. Not really getting much assistance from Sexy Tamale, but managed to, regardless, still win the lane and get Xayah to her advantage later on in the fights. Couldn't get to Jinx all the time, and for the fights that she was missing from, kind of went sour for the party squad, but definitely was the linchpin in them staying relevant in the game, and helped their team get back into it, despite the gold deficits that they were facing.
Absolutely, I think Raven was totally dominant in that game. I always like to give the MVP to another member of the team, so we have different people, but I mean, very tempted to give it to Raven. I think the bot lane of the party squad actually looked super impressive, both Ivyshot and MT Cup. Just from the way he played those last two fights, I'm actually going to give my MVP to MT Cup. Particularly kind of having sort of a struggling laning phase early on against the Jinx and the Tahm Kench, but later on in those last few team fights, getting a ton of kills and really shining. Did have the 7 deaths. I think a lot of that was everyone kind of diving for the Xayah, you know, every ultimate being expended, but played most of them really well, and overall, you can check out the damage charts here. Xayah dishing out 31,000 damage, the second most in the game, only about 1.4k behind Raven's Riven. So MT Cup is going to be my MVP for this game, but obviously a very impressive performance from both the top laner and the bot lane duo of Party Squad, and overall well played by them to advance to round 2.
So the next matchup we've got, and we do have an update on the IRS versus GG. And the GG, like what I did there, managed to pull out the win against the IRS. So all new teams, aside from Becky's Babes, later on in the final round of the losers bracket, are what we're going to be seeing here.
Should be fun to jump into those. Right now, looking for some tourney codes. Oh, there we go. Not a tourney code, but an invite from a fellow caster right now. So
I had to restart my client for the indie company's reasons. The MVP, I gave the MVP over to Riven for the solo winning of her lane and snowballing Xayah, and Vest has given the MVP over to Xayah to spite me. It is always funny because you want to pick a different person than me. We never technically, like, we rarely have an actual MVP. We just have kind of like two opinions rather than like a decision. So there's like no one MVP. It's just kind of, it's either this person or this person.
I like it though because I feel like there's often like multiple people that go unappreciated in the teams, and it gives the opportunity to like give some recognition to multiple people. We could agree on the same MVP. I think that's happened a few times, but
it's really rare. It's when one person was pretty much undoubtedly the reason for the win.
Yeah,
but it's very rare.
I mean, it's not as if they're getting some sort of trophy or you know, cash prize for the MVP. So they should be happy to split it 50-50. Split the bragging rights 50-50.
Oh. Oh, so no trophies. Got it. Okay. Note taken. Got it.
Quickly hide giant trophy bought from the trophy shop.
I'm gonna have to call the post office real quick for an unrelated reason. But congratulations to the party squad for beating Dangerous. Congratulations to GG for beating the IRS. Thank you, Dangerous and the IRS, for competing. Hope to see you later in future tournaments. But this is now into the rabbit hole versus the Party Squad. Party Squad, the team we just saw recently, is going to be on the red side, and Into the Rabbit Hole is going to be on the blue side. And do not forget, this is the losers bracket, but this is not the only day of the tournament left. We've got tomorrow, the grand finals. The team that has won the winners bracket, Obama-loving libtards, versus the winner of today's matches. So look forward to that.
Should be a fun one. Some of these teams advancing further and further into the bracket today. The winner of this matchup will play against GG, who did triumph against the IRS. And then the winner of that will play against Becky's Babes for the right to enter that grand final, which we will be seeing tomorrow.
Yeah, their team name is really something else. I like it.
Which one?
The Obama-loving libtards. Truly a name with no comparison, aside from Becky's boobs. But anyways, so we've seen some people in here already that we've seen in the last match, obviously, but we see Zion Spartan, not the real one from CLG.
Despite the CLG icon, club tag, and his summoner name, not Zion Spartan, but Zion Spartan, in fact.
Yeah, they're different people, all right?
I imagine he's looking to play as well as Zion Spartan, however, in this upcoming game. He'll have to channel his inner Zion Spartan, his inner Counterlogic Gaming.
We have heard word that may be the actual Zion Spartan smurfing, but we've been trying to investigate that, and so far I've found no physical proof, and we'll keep saying that until the near death of the earth. But we've seen him in the past, and it looks like he's going support. If I remember correctly, we've always seen him up in the top lane. So curious to see what he's going to want to bring out here.
Indeed, curious. Judging by the name Raven, it sort of suggests to me that he is a Riven main, or at least, I mean, if nothing else, if you had some names hidden and you looked at the game, last game, looked like somebody who's pretty comfortable on Riven, but we'll have to see what champion he looks to bring out here.
Well, this team's game did end before last game's. I should probably clarify that. GG's game ended prior to Dangerous versus the Party Squad, so might have caught the ending of the last game. So curious to see if they're going to ban some of those people out, if they're going to ban out the Saya, if they're going to ban out the Riven. And I think that those are big enough problems that they don't want to see it. Because when you face a good Riven, you don't want to have to face that good Riven again, because even going even, all they need is a kill or two in the mid game, and then they could start popping back off to their late game terrifying nature.
We are into Champion Select, though, as we get into the first banning phase. Curious if we will see a Riven ban. I would not be surprised to see that come through from Into the Rabbit Hole. Especially if they caught wind of that last game, or even just looked at the final stats. Raven looked pretty unstoppable on that champion. But first ban is going to be the Kai'Sa. Once again, we will sadly not be able to see that brand new ADC in the bot lane, or occasionally considered a flex pick for the jungle, but either way, it won't be on the Rift today, sadly. As the Echo ban is the response.
Kind of a little bit sad to see that. I know it's kind of like a normal standard mid pick, but I'd love seeing just a deletion of an Echo when an Echo gets fed. I blame Kite for that a lot of the time, but it's something I face too, and I've seen.
There's that Riven ban. We thought it might come through when it did.
Unfortunately, Raven may be a little bit sad to see that.
Yeah, he may be. I'm curious what he'll bring out. I mean, we've only had the one chance to watch him play. Fiora is the ban, so 2 top lane bans coming through. I agree as well on the Echo. It's a champion with a really fun and unique kit, especially with the ultimate, with, just the entirety of the play style. It's a lot of mobility, diving back and forth, knowing how far you can dive with any champion under tower or something like that. Can be really exciting to see. And other teams having to play around that ultimate too. Ooh, the Xayah banned away from NT Cup as well, so our 2 MVPs will not be able to play their former champions. We'll have to see what they bring out to replace him.
Yeah, speaking from personal experience, it's not too hard to get to that point on Echo if you get a couple kills. You could easily do it with a lot less skill and still be that terrifying assassin. But it's great to see someone who practices Echo a lot and plays Echo a lot, because you just see a whole different level of assassin.
Swain, the insta-lock-in, though. We always hear the memes, ban Swain, ban Swain, ban Swain. Well, he was not banned, and now he has been picked. Response is going to be Jinx and Braum there in the bot lane. So Empty Cup playing against that Jinx in the previous game did look fairly good, and now picking it up himself along with Braum for Ivy Shot. So
we
pretty strong bot lane duo for them.
We may see the jungler being picked last here based on the role positions, because often when people swap, it's kind of just a direct swap instead of a three-way swap. So could see the jungler picked last and the top laner picked much sooner. But it does seem like the mid laner will be picked immediately.
We'll have to see if this is a Swain in the top lane or in the mid lane, as Warwick locked in once again. Something that's been highly contested by just about every team in the tournament thus far. Banned a lot or picked yesterday, and same deal today as Annie is locked in. Assuming that's not Annie's support, assuming it is Annie in the mid lane, and they're just picking straight down in their role orders, that would be a Swain top and an Annie in the mid lane. We'll see what that final pick of the first phase is going to be from the side of the party squad. It is going to be Lux for Reigning Eclipse. So taking away the picks they played against that Dangerous brought against them in the previous game, two of them now taking the Lux and the Jinx, picking those up for party squad as we get into our second banning phase.
And there goes the Twitch, a really strong late game AD carry and a personal favorite of mine. It's difficult for me to pinpoint which AD carries I like the most. I'm leaning towards Tristana and Twitch right now because I've been playing them so much. They were strong for a season for a while there, but a little bit sad to see him go. But curious on why, because Braum is a pretty good champion on blocking anything that Twitch can do. His shield will prevent any auto attacks from really reaching Jinx. Seems like they have the tools to deal with him. Curious if that's just something that Braum is just not used to fighting, or if they just don't want it to be the AD carry roaming everywhere.
Now I'm angry.
Oh, that Yasuo ban comes through. Since Conqueror came out particularly, Yasuo has actually been a pretty contested pick in a couple of regions of pro play. Not too surprised to see it banned away. Also a frequent pick. There's a lot of Yasuo mains out there, so not sure if this is something that either mid laner or top laner likes. Considering the Lux was already picked, perhaps, well, with the Braum already, it seems like it should be a Lux mid, one would have to guess. So banning away Yasuo and Jace there from Raven, I assume. Perhaps other champions he's known to play. As Vayne locked in. Is this a top lane Vayne? That appears to be what it is. Top lane Vayne for Raven, after playing that Riven in the previous game, certainly showing a propensity for playing some of those very snowbally champs there in the top lane.
It's something I like to see. I mean, I'm sure you like to see it too. It's unusual. It's weird. But if it pops off, I mean, you got a strong late game AD carry. Like, this is exactly what you want in a top laner who apparently likes the style of Riven and possibly even the style of Yasuo, considering that Lux is already locked in during the second banning phase.
Locked in there in the bot lane, Draven and Morgana is going to be the duo up against Braum and Jinx. And Sejuani, our final lock-in. So Sejuani up against Warwick there in the jungle. Swaps coming through, and indeed, Vayne in the top lane up against the Swain. Mid lane Annie against the Lux. So a lot of high damage threats all over these teams. Certainly fairly equal on the tanky side, considering Swain tends to be somewhat tanky, at least with his ability to regenerate health somewhat reliably once he gets that Demonic Ascension out there. And Warwick up against Sejuani and the Braum. But a lot of high damage threats, and in the late game, Party Squad going to be an absolute menace with both Vayne and Jinx on the same team.
There is a point that that you could say that due to the fact that what are the words I'm looking for here? It can be rough for Into the Rabbit Hole because they don't really have 3 tanks, if you know what I mean. Like, they have Swain, who kind of builds a little bit tanky, but doesn't really build tank. If you catch him adrift, he's kind of like a Vladimir. Vladimir, just because he gets health from his passive of building AP, doesn't make him a tank. His items that build Rylai's into Leandries make him a tank, and even then it's kind of just health. It's not really armor / magic assist. And they've got no kind of tanky support. It's a Morgana, so a person who's going to be building either supportive, so support items with like a banner or an Ardent. I doubt an Ardent. I don't think Ardent would be good on a Morgana, but I mean, hey, what do I know? And so you really only have one champion who really wants to build tank, who's Warwick. And I don't know, it's just against 2 AD carries, this doesn't spell good news, because these squishies who are just stacking health and all that are going to be melted through pretty easily. And then the actual squishies like Annie and Morgana and Draven are going to just be completely deleted pretty quickly. Gonna see if they can get a big enough lead early on and shut down the Vayne and Jinx early on enough to negate that. But I don't know. It just doesn't spell good news when I see these 2 comps going against each other from Into the Rabbit Hole.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, it seems to me like having the Vayne and the Jinx on the same team means that you can't just blow all the cooldowns to try to take down one carry, because there's 2. And I mean, Lux is going to do a fair amount of damage herself too, so it seems like, I mean, sure, Into the Rabbit Hole is bringing a lot of CC. They're going to have Annie, they're going to have Morgana, they're going to have Warwick, Suppression, and Swain will at least bring the root. So they'll have a decent team fight, I would guess, but at the same time, it's like, how do you play around a Jinx and a Vayne? You're going to have to get a pretty lucky, perfect fight where you can kill both of those carries before they can do any damage to your team.
I think it's definitely going to depend a lot about Warwick and Sejuani and how they act around the early game. Even if Sejuani is just passive, like kind of how she was during the last game that we saw, it shouldn't end up too bad for her if Vayne and Jinx win lane early. Like, Vayne is not in the best position, but not in the worst position to beat a Swain. I believe she has enough damage overall, and as an AD carry, she'd be able to bully the caster early on at the very least. Lux versus an Annie, it's all about the range, and Lux brings plenty of that range, and all it takes is a single Q to kill the Annie. Annie can play the lane well and win it. It's just not going to be easy. And then you've got Jinx and Braum versus Morgana and Draven. It's going to be hard for Jinx, actually, to avoid the Draven and Morgana, because Draven's got such high damage, better damage than Jinx. Draven's got a nice CC to catch her off guard. Morgana as well. It's going to rely on Braum and his shields, of course, but it's going to be, in my opinion, a little bit rough to... It's going to be a little rough for Jinx and Braum early on. So I think if I were Sejuani, I'd probably be camping bot a little bit and maybe gank once or twice up in the top lane to get Vayne rolling. But if Warwick doesn't do enough and the side of the party squad managed to get even just a slight bit ahead, I think this is going to be disastrous for them late game.
Certainly, we talk about even just a Jinx or just a Vayne being a terror in the later stages of the game. Now they have to deal with both of them. Not to mention, I feel like Lux is always somebody you can't discount later in the game, at least in the mid lane, because once she gets enough CDR, taking something like Ultimate Hat, plus they once again buff the cooldown return from Final Spark. So if Lux just participates in a kill with Final Spark, doesn't even have to actually finish the champion off, that cooldown's almost completely refunded. Plus you get ultimate hat, plus you get a bunch of CDR. Lux is just firing Final Sparks away like as if it's not even an ultimate. Like it's just a regular ability. Like, I mean, Master Yi is sitting there with all those 30-second cooldowns, pretty envious of that. And I think together, those 3 damage dealers are going to be such a terror. I think Into the Rabbit Hole will have to play these team fights perfectly. They could do something well. They have a decent wombo, I would say. You get in with, you know, a good Annie ultimate. You have Warwick and Swain jumping in, Draven fighting away behind that. Morgana providing a lot of CC too. Maybe they can catch somebody out. Perhaps they can get an advantage that way. I mean, I imagine that's how they're going to play it. Have to see, though. They're going to find Jinx. The binding will land. Jinx could be in trouble here, and will just accept her death without using any summoners. So, caught out completely. We're just talking about Zion Spartan's Morgana catching somebody out with a binding barely a minute into the game, and it's already happened once. First blood gold over to the side of Into the Rabbit Hole, and it will be Skill Cosby on the Annie who gets that kill gold.
Note to anybody who's ever going to try to defend with vision in your jungle, never stand inside the bush near the blue buff because you don't see above you. Never stand there because if they come up just like that, you won't have enough time to react to someone like a Morgana and like a Draven who may be starting off with their hard CC, and especially someone like Annie, or even worse champions that you'll find later down the road. Like you may find yourself facing off against the Lux. There's just so many bad people that you don't want to be in those positions where you have little reaction time. Just stand near the choke point.
Ooh, good binding there onto Empty Cup. Take a little bit of damage there.
You can still see them coming through the river, but never stand right there because you don't have enough reaction time.
Yeah, at the very least, don't stand, like, right at the entrance to the river and AFK. I think that's even worse than standing in the bush in the blue buff, but we'll see how big of an impact that is. It's a little bit of extra gold, particularly to the Annie, but binding there from Zion Spartan will not connect.
It's just that she was standing in a position that didn't offer her full vision of the river, so if they came across the wall, they were still invisible for a good portion until they were, like, 5 feet away. That's the big problem.
I am curious what Draven's name translates to from binary. If anybody knows, make sure to say that in chat.
I promise you, I'll look it up.
Okay, thank you. I'm sure it's something we can say on stream. There's no other reason that you would, you know, type it out in binary, right?
Futurama.
That's all it says?
It's the message from Futurama in one of their movies.
Huh.
Binary translation.
Ooh, another binding there onto the Jinx, taking a bunch of them. Exhaust comes out, healed burn by Empty Cup. Zion Spartan on point with these bindings. Is that Hakuo has to burn the heal? Does Empty Cup very low, using that potion as well.
Apparently it translates to high. Okay then, I like the reference on it.
I'm glad we know now. The question is, do we call him high or do we just call him 01? Or do we call him Draven?
We found the translation, so we have to go with it. That way it's the most confusing to the audience. So
it's high, as in hello or as in like high up?
High as in hello.
Oh, okay. That's a lot of work to express that simple message. I respect the dedication though.
Yeah. It shows that he's worthy of being an AD carry.
Somebody in the chat says to call him Gene. So we have another option. Ooh, a lot of trade here onto Raven's Vayne, having a bad time against that Swain right now. CS pretty close, but that was not a good trade for him to take.
Warwick may be looking bot, but kind of thinks that it's just pushed up too far. Don't know why he went down there.
Yeah, just recalling now.
So no early aggression out of the junglers quite yet. Morgana and Draven bullying the Jinx and Braum as we thought they might. Swain actually pushing in Vayne just a little bit, forcing her to use a health potion already. So does not spell good for her either. The minion destabilizer is helping Swain out with pushing that wave just even further. But Sejuani is here and she's caught out on the ward.
It looks like they'll just back away. Right now, of course, ooh, Vayne could be in trouble here. There comes that Vision of Empire, but will not connect with the extra damage. Raven sticking around, does have flash and barrier. Tamale will just dive away, avoid that binding. Right now, the Draven heavily out CSing the Jinx with an advantage of about 17 at the moment. Rest of the lane's pretty even. Skill Cosmic with a slight advantage on that Annie. Probably has a little bit of extra pressure thanks to that early first blood.
It is important to note that when an invade happens, if like everyone gets an assist out of it, they're only getting like 15 gold, but the person who gets the kill,
they may have caught out the Annie here though. There comes the binding, there comes the stun, chain CC'd perfectly. And they do get the kill for Eclipse. Meanwhile, they picked up that Mountain Drake, and now the Molly could be caught out. There comes the Fear, and a quick counter kill. So Annie does fall, but Sejuani follows soon after. 10 shilling 6 picking up that early kill on the Warwick. Raven looking for something, gets the stun, does proc that W. Vision of Empire will not connect. Raven having to play very carefully with that Swain damage. We've already seen it.
Vayne's definitely not the easiest champion to harass a magic caster early on. She just doesn't have the stats early on. But I thought she might have done a little bit better than this, but perhaps Vayne's stats are just a bit too low and Swain's are just a bit too high. But staying even in CS regardless.
Orca Master picking up that early cloth armor, wants to mitigate some of that physical damage from Raven, it would appear.
I would imagine he'll run a Ninja Tabi immediately. You've got the Jinx, you've got the Vayne, and especially since you're laning against the Vayne, I don't think there's any reason not to.
Molly securing that Rift Scuttler in there in the top river. Some action here in the top lane. Raven does get the stun once again, but Orca Master just going in. Throws out those Force Lightning bolts and backs away. Demonic Ascension is available. Both ultimates, in fact, available for the top laners if they are looking for an all-in. Right now, level 6 advantage for the bot lane of Into the Rabbit Hole. Continuing to extend that CS lead now, about 26 for the Draven.
So the first dragon picked up being a mountain dragon, not a big deal, but the second one also being a mountain dragon kind of becomes just a little bit of bigger of a deal. Just doesn't really help too much. Like, it's not really an infernal that you want to see on the Draven, the Annie, and then the Morgana.
Ooh, good root. Vision of Empire will not connect. Good tumble from Raven to avoid that extra damage. Overall, that trade will go fairly even. Ooh, looking to get that Silver Bolt's proc, but will not come through with a third shot for Raven.
Actually, you know what? I changed my mind. I think the Mountain may be good early on because it will help the bot lane push down that tower faster, which means more gold quicker, which means it'll mitigate the possibility of Jinx and Vayne getting ahead early, or getting a big enough gold difference early. But Jinx is already losing out on a lot. I mean, she's 30 CS behind.
Worth noting, Sextimali does have that Glacial Storm, having hit level 6. But his enemy jungler, 10 shilling 6 has his ultimate as well. Level 6 is coming through across the rift. We'll see if that means any more action. We had a couple of early kills, but not much in the last few minutes.
Oh, so close to landing that stun for the Vayne. But Vayne's finally starting to hit that point where she's starting to be able to win these trades here. Sejuani's here bot. They will catch him out on the ward the moment he uses that blast cone.
Looks like he'll just head over to his blue buff. Not a lot of ganks able to come through right now. They did find that kill onto the Annie, but counter kill, the response was quick. Warwick was already picking up the Mountain Drake and was able to just run up there. We could have some action here, though, as both junglers very close by. They will spot out 10 shilling sixpence. Well, we have some action here. Could the bot lanes rotate? Good binding there onto Skill Cosby, who will just back away. Does have that fully stacked any stun available.
Will most certainly kill Lux, but just does not opt in for it yet.
Ooh, another good binding landed onto Ivy Shot. Or one throwing one of those axes in, a little extra damage. Draven, one of those champions that can play very easily off of his allies' CC. Dish out that damage and chase people down.
Vayne not opting in for that static shift.
Ooh, a good binding there onto Empty Cup. Diving backwards is the bot lane, but they have support right now. There comes the Glacial Storm onto Zion Spartan, who has to flash away. There comes the Morgana ultimate, looking for the counter kill on the Braum. Zion Spartan gets the kill, but he does fall, gets the kill over to Empty Cup. Great Warwick ult from Dungeon Sixpence, which will land. Teleport and Demonic Ascension coming through from Orca Master. Won't be able to find anything. 1 for 2 in favor of Into the Rabbit Hole right now.
Draven's just accepting his fate and deciding I might as well get what kills I can, but because they were so focused on Morgana, it took so long to kill her, Draven was just able to chunk down the Jinx. Flashing away to get out of Draven's range, sure, forced Warwick to use the ult, but overall, great damage coming out of the Draven. I think the real turning point in that whole fight was the Draven.
Well, overall, a great fight for Into the Rabbit Hole, and looks like Mountain Drake is on the table. Molly is on the way. We'll see if he looks to contest this, but would be a bad idea with so many members of Into the Rabbit Hole in the area. He has spotted him out, but now he could be caught. Looking to turn, binding will connect, but they just turn back onto the Mountain Drake, concentrating on that. Somali wants the steal, but will not find it. Dives in and might lose his life because of it. Axe is spinning, and binding finishes him off. Zion Spartan picking up another kill on the Morgana. So, kind of interesting play from the Molly there. He goes in for the steal and doesn't get it and loses his life. Ooh, binding there onto the Annie. Getting that auto, proccing that passive for Raining Eclipse. Overall, though, this mid lane, very even.
It's hard for Annie to really get into Lux's range in order to land her full combo because she can't nuke Lux from 100 to 0. She could probably do 70 to 0 if she has Ignite up and lands every spell. But it's difficult to do anything more or like able to harass Lux effectively because you're just putting yourself in danger of being hit by that binding. Morgana's in trouble here though.
Running away from 4 members of the party squad, and the Jinx ultimate Super Mega Death Rocket will pick up the kill for Empty Cup, who is now 2-2-0. And now they have the inside track on that mid lane outer turret. Should be able to burst it down. We'll see though. No, not enough minions. They have to back away. Binding will land on both. Still saving that final spark. Not sure if Raining Eclipse has used it at all this game just yet.
And then there goes their tower, the first tower for the side of the party squad.
Ooh, looking to invade and take away this blue buff are the party squad. They've found 10 shilling sixpence. Running away. Black Shield is there, but used on the Warwick. Now Zion Spartan could be in trouble. But the rest of his team is there to join. Here comes the turn. Ivy Shot could be going down. There's that final spark. Ton of damage onto Zion Spartan, who does fall, looking for that kill onto 10 shilling sixpence. Tamale running away and barely lives. There comes the kill on the Ivy Shot. 3 kills now. Will they chase down further? We will see. Raining Eclipse. Ooh, that binding will not land. Rather the root from the Swain.
It was a really far flash to use. Was he trying to get over the wall, or was he just trying to get in range? Not quite sure.
But looks like Into the Rabbit Hole will secure their blue buff. However, they lose 2 members and only get a support kill. They are happy with their 2k gold advantage right now. Showing Sixpence looking to secure that red buff.
Alright, so the next dragon to pop up is still a mountain dragon, so 3 mountains possible here. That's going to be a lot of pain for the Baron to feel. I kind of feel for him.
Double mountain, he is going to fall pretty quickly. Still about 4 minutes away from that Baron. We'll see if anybody looks to secure that Rift Herald. Right now, a ton of vision from the party squad around that area.
It's something I think once you have 2 mountains and a third one pops up, I would really want to have that.
They're chasing down Zion Spartan. They might want him. Here comes Tamale. The Glacial Prison will land onto 01. He flashes away. He heals, but he does fall to the Jinx. Here comes Tensioning Sixpence looking for the return kill on Ivy Shot. They will find it. There comes the Braum stun, though. No Black Shield available right now. Double kill for Empty Cup. Stacking up that Jinx passive. He wants that final kill. Does not have the Death Rocket available, but the Binding gets the counter kill. And there's the kill for Zion Spartan. However, that is 2 kills for Empty Cup. Overall, though, a 3-for-2 trade in favor of Party Squad, but now could be caught is Radiant Eclipse, has to flash away, but Raven has ulted, gets the kill on Skill Cosby, perhaps looking for the sway now, gets pulled into tower range, has the anti-ult there, final spark comes in, and barrier from Raven, and they will live. Overall, a 2-for-4 in that fight in favor of Party Squad, turning the tables as we get into the later stages of the game.
It's a crazy turn of events. Poor Jinx flashing right into the Morgana queue. Unfortunate. But, man, I thought Annie would have most certainly gotten a Lux, but then Vayne, just no fear, says, oh, you want to go in? I'm just going to kill you then. Back and forth between these teams. Even, basically. 600 gold difference. Not anything to brag about for anybody. So, just really neck and neck.
Right now averaging a little over a kill a minute. Very bloody game thus far. Both teams with 1 turret. However, Into the Rabbit Hole do have those 2 Mountain Drakes. As you said, though, that gold lead minuscule at this point. Could become a little bit less than minuscule, though, as that top lane outer turret does fall.
I still feel like once you get 2 Mountain Dragons, you want that third one, because it's just kind of... Once you get an Elder Dragon, that's a lot to like double up on for something that you already have. It's a lot easier to annihilate the Baron. It's a lot easier to tear down these towers. It's just... if you've already got 2, why not go for a third?
Well, no Mountain Drake yet, but Into the Rabbit Hole does pick up that Rift Herald. We'll see if they look to knock down this mid lane turret.
They're kind of headed for it.
Ooh, they want that triple mountain, it looks like. Hoping to get some vision in the area, but Party Squad already has a number of wards around. Here comes the root, though, onto Empty Cup. A lot of damage from the Swain, and there comes the suppression from Tensioning Sixpence, and it is Orca Master who picks up the kill. Binding will not land, dodged by all members of Party Squad, but they're in a 4v5 right now as both teams battle over this Mountain Drake.
Looks like they're starting it.
It is starting to buy Into the Rabbit Hole, but ooh, a lot of damage there onto the Draven. Looking for the 50-50.
Warwick has a little bit better of a smite. So this is going to be rough for Sejuani.
Yeah, 2 levels up. That's going to be very difficult to steal. There comes the anti-ultimate onto 2. Here comes the final spark. Gets the steal. Radiant Eclipse has that Mountain Dragon, but there's the Glacial Prison. Sexy Molly flashing away, but poor Braum could be stuck. Has no way out for Ivy Shot. Demonic Ascension gets the kill. Now looking for the chase onto Radiant Eclipse, but a great binding. Oh, but the bear from Annie finds the Molly, and there comes Tensioning Sixpence with the kill. Will they find Raven's Vayne? He is going to be spotted out. Here comes the Warwick. Oh, there's the flash stun from Skill Cosby. Gets the kill onto Raven. So the Mountain Drake is picked up by Party Squad, but they lose 3 members to do it.
It seemed like Warwick was knocked up, and I thought for sure the dragon was going to go over to the Party Squad. But then he kind of just walked away, kind of resigning the dragon.
Well, it did go over the Party Squad.
I know. I thought it would go over because Warwick was knocked up, but then he walked away, ensuring that it would. I think if he turned back and tried to smite it, it would have been a triple mountain for the into the rabbit hole. There's no real good way to say for into.
Well, no triple mountain this time around. The final spark does secure that Drake. However, a disastrous fight overall for the side of the Party Squad. Certainly Into the Rabbit Hole should be happy with the way that went. I'm sure they wanted the triple mountain, but getting 3 kills for the price should be in their favor.
You want a triple mountain, but I mean, it's not something that you're really like devastated about letting go. I think if it were an Infernal, that'd be a different story with 280 carries and a high damage mid laner, like a Lux. So definitely could have gone worse. It's a dragon you can say, it's all right.
Ooh, the Vision of Empire will just barely not connect. The ability takes a while to wind up. Often easy to dodge. Double binding there from Raining Eclipse, but won't use the final spark. A lot of damage coming through from that Lux right now. This mid lane outer turret very low. Ooh, binding barely lands. There comes the Warwick ultimate. Chain CC perfectly onto Raining Eclipse, who does fall. Zion Spartan. These bindings are absolutely perfect.
I don't know if the Warwick ult would have missed or not, but I think Swain, like dragging him forward, Lux forward, ensured that it would land. Although I could be wrong.
It did look that way. Another binding there onto Raven, who could be caught now. There comes the Glacial Prison onto the Annie, but chasing him down is Swade. Demonic Ascension is active. Now Sejuani could be in trouble. That is everyone but the Jinx dead. Jinx is only recalling bot lane now after getting that bot lane inner turret. Getting that mid lane inhibitor right now. We'll see what they look for next. They still have the Rift Herald. Are they looking for the game? It looks like they are. Both Lux and Jinx are there. There comes the charge from the Rift Herald. It will fall. Final Spark will kill Zion Spartan. They may back away now. Yes, they will. The minion wave is not there. Good dodge from Orca Master there.
Rift Herald lived for quite a while with 1 health. He's just clinging onto life and finally keeled over. What I believe to be just out of blood loss.
Look that way. So the Party Squad trying to trade, do a bit of a base race as they got those 2 turrets in the bot lane. But overall, 5-3 turrets in favor of Into the Rabbit Hole, who get the inhibitor as well. Now hoping to pick up that Rift Scuttler, and they will. So a little bit of Baron control going over to them. As arriving in the area are the Party Squad. Hoping to clear out some of that vision. Overall, that was a huge fight in favor of Into the Rabbit Hole. Now Orca Master all alone does get the root onto Tamale, but the entirety of the Party Squad is there. Orca Master is not interested in that fight. Pings coming down from the blue team all over Baron. Let's see, plenty of vision available. We'll sweep some of it out. Zion Spartan take out that control ward right now. Inside track to Baron is available for the side of Into the Rabbit Hole.
They have plenty of ward coverage, so they know that they're not doing it quite yet. Rabbit Hole probably just okay with just clearing the waves because they can see Draven. Oh man,
Oh,
but
they're
they see
starting it
him
now.
over.
Teleport coming in from Orca Master, who did recall, get some items. We'll spot it out now. There's the control ward in the pit. This could be a 50-50. They're bursting it down. There comes Tamale. Final Spark is there, but Smite secured by Sixpence. There goes Tamale. He is gone. Here comes the Glacial Fissure from Braum. Diving away with Demonic Ascension is active. There comes the Zalius. A lot of damage from Empty Cup, who does get the kill, or rather Raven does, but getting killed by the Draven Axes, who's chasing him down. Double kill for 0-1. Chasing down Raining Eclipse. Right now, here comes Nate Warwick. You cannot get away from him. Flashing away is Raining Eclipse, but 10 showing Sixpence is too fast, and he will get the kill despite the barrier. No, it is Skill Cosby who gets that final kill, but the Baron and an ace for Into the Rabbit Hole means they have their eyes on that enemy Nexus.
I don't think that this. I think the game's over. There's pretty much no way to come back from that. I mean, you got the Braum and the Sejuani who are coming up, but you got the Draven and everybody.
Trying, doing all this. There's the fear, the vision of Empire, the flash from Tamale, chasing him down is Sixpence, looking for the kill on the Braum, who flashes away as well. Both those Froggo champions left in full retreat as more Barons coming, or rather, Baron up minions coming in. Actually, backing away. Into the round hole, doesn't want that fight with everyone respawning. They do get one Nexus turret, but that is it. Have their eyes on that Cloud Drake now. Easy to pick up. Potential and Sixpence picking up that blue buff as well. Will be spotted out, though, by that control ward.
Great defense by Sejuani and Braum, but it's only going to get worse and worse from here. Draven is 3-1-13. No kills, really, to highlight him, but he's doing a lot of damage.
They're trying to stall this out. They have the Vayne, they have the Jinx. They just want to get those fights, but right now, it's just been such a difficult team fight to win for the side of the Party Squad. Annie 8-2-6 for Skill Cosby, and once that Warwick and that Swain get in there with Zion Spartan starting off so many of these fights, they've chained their CC perfectly, and despite having to deal with 2 carries, plus the Lux as well, 3 carries really, but 2 of them, those hyper carry ADCs, have not been able to win many of these fights, and they're losing those marksmen almost immediately. Looking for this top lane inner turret. Or into the rabbit hole. Got that Baron up, came in, firing away, and another one cruising in there. Should be able to knock this down. Ooh, good binding there. There comes the final spark, and the double Zanyas means neither of them take any damage. Ooh, Super Mega Death Rocket takes Skill Cosby very low. Won't get it. Ooh, good binding there onto Radiant Eclipse. They do get that top lane inner turret after a close fight.
Barrett is about to be up, so it should be up for the next fight. The Cloud Dragon did go over, so the next dragon to pop up is the Ocean. No more dragons will spawn after that, or at least no more normal dragons. After that, Ocean is taken care of. It will be Elder. So Ocean Dragon, I think something important for someone like a Lux to have, and not really, I don't think it really matters too much for anybody else, maybe a Morgana, but I think it's definitely important to just keep as many dragons away from into the rabbit hole as possible at this point.
Right now, Empty Cup building towards that Bloodthirster, it looks like, does have the Executioners calling for that Warwick, Draven, and Swain. A lot of lifesteal and regeneration available for Into the Rabbit Hole. Hoping to mitigate some of that. Meanwhile, Raven's Vayne does pick up Static Shiv and Rapid Fire Cannon. They're getting that 3 to 4 item point. These carries are getting stronger for the Party Squad. They have that to rely on. They have stalled the game out this far, nearly 30 minutes. But still, a 10k gold lead for Into the Rabbit Hole means they're feeling pretty good, but they've played this game very carefully. Twice they've backed away from potentially thinking about ending the game. They don't want to overstep. They're playing this very patiently.
I think it's definitely wise, because you don't want to be too low when someone like a Vayne and a Jinx pop up. It's just so easy to get annihilated in, like, one after the other. Vayne with a nice chasing Q and a passive, Jinx with a nice passive to keep her health very speedy in order to get pick up those last kills.
Ooh, binding won't connect. There goes the Chompers. They actually will land onto 0-1. That Black Shield helping it out with that Braum stun. Ooh, a good binding there on Empty Cup. Could be in trouble. There comes the burst. Skill Cosby with the kill. Suppression is there. There goes Tamale. Now they're in full retreat. Are the Party Squad. Ivy Shot could be going down. 0-1 with the kill. Oh, and here comes Raven trying to do something, trying to 1v5, but will fall to Skill Cosby as well. Only Reigning Eclipse is left, and Into the Rabbit Hole, hoping to shepherd that mini wave into the base. Running away, but here comes 0-1, flashing forward aggressively, chasing down the Lux, looking for something. The binding, and 0-1 gets the kill. An ace for the side of Into the Rabbit Hole. They'll take down that last Nexus turret, and they have their eyes on the Nexus now. They have their eyes on the next round of the losers bracket, and one more auto will do it. There's the kill. There's the Nexus explosion. A victory for Into the Rabbit Hole.
Well played by them. A lot of great damage coming out of the Draven. Definitely the kills don't tell the story of how much damage he was dealing. Like, he was doing the most damage on his team, and yet he's got 5 kills. Pretty even with everyone else aside from Manny. Just a great bindings coming out of the Morgana. Some pretty good Warwick ults and pretty good Swain survival up in the top lane. But I'm going to hand over the MVP over to the Morgana, because I think the reason Draven did so well is because Morgana kept landing all the crucial bindings on the Jinx and the Braum to give Draven those opportunities to deal all that damage. And you said it yourself so many times throughout the game, so many great bindings being landed on everybody. It's the reason why they got so many picks early on. I think Morgana's picking was the reason that they did this well. And so I'm going to give the MVP over to Morgana.
I'm in full agreement, Eohdorr. I definitely thought the entirety of their team played their CC so perfectly. They layered it, they chained it just perfectly. But it was always the Morgana binding starting off so many of those fights. Zion Spartan looking fantastic on that champion. He's my MVP as well.
Bias.
But overall, well played by the entirety of Into the Rabbit Hole, playing those team fights very effectively, securing a number of objectives. Congratulations to them on moving on to the next round, and they have no time to rest because they're playing against GG right now.
Exactly. They're kind of just immediately after that game, they face GG, and immediately after this game, they'll be facing Becky's Babes. So they're running through that gauntlet. So if you are just joining us now, don't know why you weren't watching earlier. How dare you? But we are into the third round of the Party Brawl 6 during the losers bracket. We are watching Into the Rabbit Hole versus GG. And as I said a minute ago, the winner of this will go on to face Becky's Babes. And then the winner of that match will go on to face Obama-loving libtards tomorrow in the grand final. And the grand final will be a best out of 3. Should the Obama-loving libtards win that best of 3, then they win the whole tournament. Should the team who wins all of today's matches win against the Obama-loving libtards, they will play another best out of 3 because Obama-loving libtards have not lost yet. So that best of 3 will then decide who wins the whole shebang.
Well, should be a fun one. Still plenty of League of Legends left for us to watch. But right now, we're getting ready to check out GG up against Into the Rabbit Hole. Should be a fun one. Don't believe we've got a chance to see GG in action in the tournament so far.
Unfortunately, no, because they did lose in the first round against Into the Rabbit Hole. So a rematch of sorts. They have faced each other, and it didn't work out so well for GG in the first time, or the first round. But GG did not play through the IRS in order to lose. They're looking hungry. They're looking for that win. Gonna see if they can do it. But Into the Rabbit Hole is basically facing a whole bunch of rematches. If they beat GG here, then they go to face Becky's Babes, who they lost to get placed into the losers bracket. So a lot of redemption play matches here.
Absolutely. Looks like we have all the players in the lobby right now. Ready checks coming out. We should have you guys in Champion Select in mere moments. Very excited to jump in here. Curious what picks we'll see from Into the Rabbit Hole. That was actually the first time we got to see them in action, but we won't have to wait long to find out because we are into Champion Select. Certainly a lot of champions that look pretty good on, particularly Zion Spartan was our MVP on the Morgana, so I'm curious if that's something they're looking to lock in. I think Morgana in my opinion, a pretty safe blind pick in the support role, something you can pick pretty early if you want to, if you're worried about it getting banned away. But the first ban is that Aurelia, the reworked Aurelia, being taken off the table.
It is worth to note that GG was able to, if they could, watch the last match. So they already banned the Swain away from Orca Master, determining they don't want to face that, or they believed he was good enough on it that he will be a problem to deal with for their top laner or for their mid laner. So they have plenty of moments to have watched from the last game to see who they want to ban.
They will ban that Swain away from Orca Master. Not going to have access to that strong champion there at the top lane. And the Draven away from 0-1, so a lot of bans from the previous game. Meanwhile, Katarina taken off the table. Katarina is certainly a champion that if I'm playing mid lane, I sometimes ban it away because it's one of those snowbally champions that even if you win lane against her, she always just seems to roam bot and get a double kill and then just get back into the game, and then there's nothing you can do. And I think, I'm not sure that's a target ban or not, but even with it not seeing much pro play, I always feel like Katarina is a fairly solid ban. But Warwick banned away from 10 shilling 6 as well, so 3 different champions from the previous game not going to be accessible for Into the Rabbit Hole, as the response is going to be the Xayah ban. So 280 carries, 2 top laners, a jungler and a mid laner. A lot of varied bans coming through, but it is that first pick Morgana I mentioned that is usually a blind pickable support, and Zion Spartan looked great on it. They're going to go ahead and lock that up. We'll see what the response is going to be from GG.
Warwick banned away from 10 shilling pence, just focusing entirely on the last game. Just don't want to see any of that. Gonna see if the other 2 bans are for the other 2 champions.
That would be hilarious.
Oh wait, no, we can't because Morgana's being picked. We'll
Yeah.
see if Lux is banned during the second phase, or if sorry, not Lux, Annie is banned. It would be great. But Jax and Zillion. Oof.
Interesting picks for sure. Zillion, somebody you can take in the mid lane, also playable in the support role. Jax, same deal, top lane and jungle. So some flex picks coming through from the side of GG, maybe hoping to confuse their foes a little bit. Or who knows, they could be picking straight down their order, and that's a Zillion top. At this point, we have no idea, as Kane is the response for 10 shilling 6 pence. With Warwick banned away, that's what he falls back to.
I would gamble that that's a Zillion mid. Like, I would gamble that. I highly doubt it's going to be a Zillion support. I just don't see them often enough. The mid lane is being picked or hidden. It's possible we may see Annie banned.
It is possible. It is going to be 0-1 falling back on the Caitlyn with his Raven taken away. We'll see what that final response will be. Wouldn't be surprised to see either mid lane or AD carry locked in here with some of those bans already coming through. Hoping to lock something up before the rest of the bans come through. It is going to be Talia there in the mid lane. So perhaps the look to ban away some more mid laners, I guess that should suggest it is a Zillion support, interestingly enough, picked into the Morgana. The one thing I can think of is the Zillion speed up, helping you dodge those Morgana bindings, but the Annie ban comes through, so banning away 4 out of 5 members of the team. You have to assume if Morgana wasn't picked, that would be the final ban, but funny stuff coming through from GG, completely forcing Into the Rabbit Hole to pick an almost entirely new team comp, saying, hey, if you like those previous picks, well, say goodbye. They're gone.
I love it. I appreciate it.
Urgot, the response ban there after the Annie taken away.
I think both teams are just having fun with their bans at this point. But with a Zillion support, it's not common in my opinion, but it's definitely something that is annoying to have to deal with. Because it's just so many times the bomb will be thrown down on the Caitlyn, and Morgana's just forced to constantly use her Black Shield on Caitlyn in order to try to mitigate some of that damage. It's never really meant to be saved for the stun, in my opinion.
All right, the Teemo ban. These guys are clearly trolling with their bans. Come on, they banned your whole team and then Teemo. There's no other explanation.
But Talia, I was gonna say Talia should have been fine into Annie, so I thought they may not have banned Annie, but I still appreciate it regardless. Talia is a very annoying champion to have to deal with. Looks like once again they're gonna be a team saving their top lane pick for last because it's a Zillion support. So we should see the 80 carry picked here right about now. Right about now. There we go. A Twitch. It's a curious choice into someone such as Kayn. If Kayn goes assassin, then it's going to be rough for Twitch to get away because he doesn't really have an escape, and it's not hard for Kayn to get in there.
Into the rabbit hole, hovering that Darius. No, is it going to be the Gangplank for Orca Master? Or is it Cho'Gath? It is Cho'Gath, okay.
Showing off a little bit of his options, saying you could have banned this or this, but I'm going to go with this.
Well, one pick left for Into the Rabbit Hole. They do pick up that Cho'Gath there in the top lane. Certainly a champion that can sustain, take some pressure, and still be okay. As Lux, the final hover right now, will be Lux in the mid lane up against that Talia, and it is locked in. Fiora instantly hovered and instantly locked in for James Edwards there in the top lane against that Cho'Gath from Orca Master.
Well, this is quite the predicament. We got the Talia and Lux. The Talia a little bit harder to land those skill shots, but not too hard. Same situation as Vel'Koz. It's not impossible. It's not even that hard, but it's a lot less accessible versus the Lux E. But both of them have got quite a long range, and I do believe Talia has the damage to deal with the Lux, so I would imagine Talia will come out on top here. And great roaming potential along with the teleport from Fiora. Could see some great plays down in the bot lane. Jax versus Kayn. Jax has got some great counter play against him. But I'm not sure who would win in a 1v1 here. I want to say Kayn would, but I don't know. We've all seen those terrifying Jaxes with that quote-unquote press the attack Guardian keystone. It just is the timer dead?
Oh, yeah, that's unusual. Choose your let at 0 for the last 10 seconds. Perhaps a bit of a bug.
We'll
here?
pretend that's not there. Jax has just got a lot of damage from the press the attack or Guardian, so I'm not sure how that'll really play out. I think Jax may win. I think Kayn may win. I don't know. But Kayn has definitely got some better ganking avenues. And against someone like a Fiora, like a Twitch, Zillion, and like a Talia, I don't really think that Kayn really has any great like easy lanes to bully here. Jax, however, has got a pretty good lane to bully with the Lux. He's got I believe Fiora should be able to win that lane naturally up in the top lane against a Cho'Gath. And I don't know about bot. I want to say that Zillion and Twitch will win because Zillion's harass is just so painful. Morgana binding could be critical here, but I think I want to hand the edges over to Zillion and Twitch, Talia, Fiora, and I'm not quite sure who in the jungle, but based on champion matchups alone, I think that the odds favor GG.
Well, we'll have to see. Certainly
unless we don't see, because it's still not counting down.
You have that as well? You have that bug as well?
It is we've got 0 seconds, so we're almost in there, guys. Just a little bit longer.
I just want to make sure it's not just my client. Your client is showing the 0 as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
It says they're live in game.
Huh.
3 minutes 52 seconds left until they begin. So I imagine it took about 50 seconds for loading. So should be I don't know. This is some serious sass our clients are showing us.
Hopefully it's just the timer that's bugged, and once the 3-minute spectator delay is up, we'll still get into the game. That would be my hope. But certainly interesting. Worth noting, double TP on that blue side, on the side of another rabbit hole. Talia sticking with the heal instead. Oh, here we go.
There we go.
Okay, just the bug timer.
Just didn't want to show us the timer. Wanted to surprise us.
Nice.
You know, our birthdays are next week, and you know, we got that.
News to me.
But yeah, you're right. Double TP. That's some great roaming potential. Both teams have potential to just 5-man this bot lane. Who will pull that trigger first, or if that trigger is even something that they want to pull? This is perhaps just a spell that Lux wants to be able to use in case Jax does camper, because I think Lux is the best lane for Jax to be ganking here. Or is that just for roaming potential, or is it just so just what that person prefers? Because not every time do we see like things like double TP and it ever be utilized the way we think it might be. Because sometimes people just like bringing TP, like how some mid laners will take Ignite instead of Barrier, even though Barrier would be better in 90% of the situations. But Ignite in this scenario is something that they just prefer. So we can't always assume that it's all calculated, even though we'd like to. But if that is a trigger that they're trying to hold on to, then curious to see who's going to pull it first.
There's some interesting keystones coming through here from GG. The phase rush on the Talia is an interesting one. I don't believe we usually see that from the Talia. I can see the appeal, being able to chase people down with those Qs, something Talia could be happy to do. I believe that would be a mistake, having grasped the Undying on Rising Ashes Zillion. I'm open to that being something that's viable, but I don't quite see it. Interesting enough that Luminous Zyfix does have the press the attack on Twitch, so with the Zillion, not a lot of sustain there in the bot lane, and against a Caitlyn, he could be taking a lot of punishment, so we'll see how big of a deal that is if he's able to kind of avoid some of that damage, because he doesn't have a lot of lifesteal or ways to recover from it. Meanwhile, a Conqueror being taken by both White Widow and James Edwards there in the top and jungle. Generally, press the attack preferred on Jax when he's in the jungle, because it can be harder to proc that Conqueror, but certainly a possibility and something that Jax as a champion likes. Fiora kind of same deal, like it's viable, but at the same time, Fiora has that true damage already built into her kit, so the extra true damage is just kind of throwing more on top of that, but certainly interesting to see that new keystone being taken so often in this tournament, and it's a lot of fun to watch. But we have hit the rift. If you are just joining us, this is Into the Rabbit Hole up against GG. These are the semifinals of the losers bracket. We have our final game next. The winner of this will play against Becky's Babes for the chance to go to the grand finals of our tournament and play tomorrow. Have a chance to win the entire thing. So a lot on the line here as we load into the rift and as we get a pause.
Don't worry, I'll keep you guys updated with the chat as soon as I can. We do have a question mark. It is the top laner, can't find the words. It is a top laner who paused, but the unpause is there. He disappeared on us was his quote. Not sure who, but yeah, so in short, just a quick pause, just trying to give us further surprises. You know, we had to wait for an unknown timer. Just want to give us a little pause to make sure we've got everything working accordingly.
Hey, just adds excitement to it all, right? You never know what's coming next. A pause, a bug timer, an invade, and a first blood. Who knows?
We may even have to chrono break.
We may very well. Not sure how we'd do it, but we'll find a way. As those buffs do spawn, so right now, no cheeky invades, no easy first bloods just yet. 10 shilling sixpence starting off on the Raptors. Meanwhile, White Widow getting a nice leash there on his blue buff. We'll see how these lanes play out early. Actually, Luminous goes with the Cole there on the Twitch, so a little bit of a life on hit from that. It's good early binding there from Skill Cosby. And he'll just be looking to farm up, hit some of those couple items on that Twitch. He'll be feeling a lot stronger. Some picks coming down onto that red side jungle of GG. Curious where White Widow is starting right now. Zion Spartan looking for the binding. Good dodge from Rising Ashes. getting that grasp of the Undying proc. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's good.
Interesting ward placement from Taliyah. If you want to focus on the jungler's jungle patterns, and if they start in the red side jungle, they'll almost never, I say almost, do not quote me on this. They'll almost never really gank you from that avenue. They'll more likely gank you from their second buffs avenue. So curious if they don't know if he started red or not, or was worried about a level 2 gank.
Well, right now, looks like 0-1 on the Caitlyn really getting the better of that push. Not a big surprise from the Caitlyn there, about 15-6 in CS. Into the Rabbit Hole's bot lane, feeling pretty good early on. His Orca Master has a massive wave here. See if he can pick all that up. Binding just barely. Does not connect on Rising Ashes, but wow, Luminous so low. We talked about the lack of sustain. Really evident here right now. They're both pushed back under their tower. Struggling, trying to just CS under tower as best he can. But 0-1 and Zion Spartan really getting the better of that matchup early on, bullying them heavily. Mid lane looking fairly even right now. The Taliyah with a slight CS lead there.
You know, this is one of the rare times I think this Ocean may be in favor of a certain team. I think Zillion's got some great poke along with Taliyah, but I think that the Lux, Caitlyn, Morgana on the side of Into the Rabbit Hole, I think Ocean would be a great dragon for them here. Ocean offers a lot of mana sustainability, a lot of health sustainability, so it keeps them healthy for those sieging and poke comps, and keeps their mana sustained. So I think this would be a good dragon for them to kind of go for. Maybe we could see something along with the double teleport happen bot lane and try to secure that dragon there. They're pushing in Twitch and Zillion pretty hard, so it's possible.
Indeed, although I think that Luminous just might be saying a little something on comms about wanting that Ocean in lane with how low his health is getting. I'm sure he would not mind a little extra regen right now. He is not having a good time, but looks like priority right now in that bot lane is going to go over to Into the Rabbit Hole, which should give them first look at that Ocean Drake, and especially now, like you mentioned, Dio, I mean, they love it for that poke kind of siege comp look, but in laning phase, getting the early Ocean Drake too, as that Peacemaker does even more damage to Luminous. He might have to recall now.
The CS difference is just so huge. He's getting poked out. Like, this is really unfortunate for him.
Big damage there onto Skill Cosby in the mid lane. Oh, there's another headshot there onto Luminous. He's in a lot of trouble here. Have to be careful. Here comes Skill Cosby, 10 shilling sixpence with the gank, but the Lux cannot afford to go in. He could fall immediately to Leah. And Edegase able to just get out of there without using any summoners. That phase rush coming in handy too, able to proc that, get a little extra movement speed to help him kind of weasel his way out of that gank. As we do see the recall coming through from Luminous, picks up a longsword and a dagger. So not the best buy for a Twitch, and a call with only 13 CS to 0-1's 51 now. Massive CS lead there in the bot lane, only 6 minutes into the game. Luminous of Rising Ashes really having a bad time. Big advantage for Into the Rabbit Hole. They have already a 1k gold lead in their CS right now. And that's basically purely in the bot lane. In the mid lane, sure, Skill Cosby down about 10. In the top lane, though, 10 up for Orca Master. So overall, just a big lead in the bot lane.
And all of those CS differences are adding up to that 1000k gold difference already. Or 1000k, what am I talking about? That 1k gold difference. 1000k, oh my god. This is a whole new game.
Yeah, the game might be over at that point.
Just a little bit.
As looking top lane is 10 shilling sixpence, but just picking up that Rift Scuttler. Ping is coming down. James Edwards does spot out the Kayn, backs away. As White Widow picks up that blue buff. Not a lot of action here from the junglers. We did see a gank there in the mid lane, but didn't even get any summoners, so both junglers just kind of farming up, and 10 shilling sixpence, about 10 CS up. Doing a little bit better at that power farming early on. White Widow actually around that Ocean Drake right now, along with his support Rising Ashes, hoping to get a little bit of control in that area. Cho'Gath gobbling up one of those minions, hoping to start getting those stacks, but you know he'd like even better to get one on a champion.
We see a rare sight, the jungler handing over the blue buff to the mid laner. This is something I've only heard about in fairy tales, but apparently it's not just a fairy tale. But Jack's trying to solo that dragon.
He actually started it. He's struggling a little bit, and now spun it out behind Spartan. Final Spark flashes away, but flash from the Kayn and a binding. Easy first blood for 10 shilling sixpence. And now they're going to turn their eyes on the Drake with no smite to contest. Shouldn't be a problem. Actually, 10 shilling sixpence does not have his smite, so keep your eye on that. They will pick it up, though.
That's good for them. Like, they didn't have to start it. They didn't have to make the move for it.
Yeah, thanks for the leash, bro.
They had a good ward on that, so props to whoever threw that down. I can only assume it was Morgana. But definitely good job on the ward coverage. It's really tough to sneak a dragon unless you buy a control ward early, because on the off chance that someone has it warded, it's really
the flash from Caitlyn and a flash heal from Rising Ashes. That bot lane just going so terribly right now for a GG. Or rather, flash used by Zilean and heal used by Luminous. Do still have a couple of summoners who binding barely dodged there by Luminous. But down now 43 CS. And as you said, EO, that Ocean Drake, they're happy to have that on the side of that excellent siege and poke comp. That Into the Rabbit Hole have brought to the table.
Kayn walked past the ward, so they know he's here. He's about to step onto another one as well. But he isn't quite yet. He's just holding on to the blast cone. He may be worried about a ward through the Tri-Brush, so he's just not stepping through that quite yet.
Really a slower game compared to most of the ones we've watched. Just a big CS lead in the bot lane is the main thing. Edegase on the Taliyah with the lead. Oh, here goes Kayn, though. Knows that Zilean does have level 6, though, so not really able to dive too far. Just clearing out that vision. But Luminous and Rising really zoned off of this turret. This should be first turret here in the bot lane. And actually, James Edwards Fiora having a difficult time against the Cho'Gath, who has those Ninja Tallies and the Bramble Vest. The Fiora not being able to do much against that Cho'Gath now. Looking for something here, but taking a lot of damage as the Fiora still not able to find anything. And down about 15, make that 16 CS right now.
And the lead is extended to a 3,000 gold difference over almost pure CS. That's pretty big. Again, as you said, a lot of it is from the Caitlyn, but props to Taliyah for trying to be the person on their team on the side of a GG to try to keep that gold difference from escalating too far.
A lot of poke damage down on the Edagase's Taliyah. Like he said, AO does have great CS there in the mid lane. However, only has about a 28 CS advantage compared to the 48 from the Caitlyn. Very impressive there as they rotate top lane now.
I feel this game could have been a lot different if I think Jax could have spent a little bit more time bot lane due to how pushed in Kate and Morgana was. Even if it is warded, the pressure of knowing that a jungler is there can almost be enough to just relieve something for your AD carry, especially when a huge wave is under the tower. It gives him better chances of hitting the CS under the tower, gives him a less of a CS deficit. So I think this could have been a lot different for the bot lane. Could have at least meant something.
Oh,
more.
Twitch could be in trouble here. Orca Master chasing him down, does have the feast available and uses it. Poor Twitch. I was just thinking, interesting lane assignments to have the Twitch laning against the Cho'Gath, who has way more gold than him and tons of armor. And Luminous finally losing his life there. Ooh, clutch Zillion ulti there with the final spark. Does survive. Binding will not connect, but they're sieging this tower down perfectly. And like you mentioned earlier, AO, with that Ocean Drake, having an easy time of it, and James Edwards in trouble. Here comes White Widow. They want Skill Cosby. Talia is here. Edegay is looking for the kill. Trying to get something. They won't find Skill Cosby. A lot of damage, though. Ooh, the bomb barely doesn't finish him off. White Widow maybe still wants something. Does dodge the binding. We're seeing that Zillion speed up come in handy a little bit to help people avoid that heavy dose of CC. On the offensive, though, right now are GG. They do defend that top lane out of turret, but still down 3.4k gold between the 2 kills, including First Blood and First Blood turret. Not to mention the massive CS differentials. As Eo mentioned, the sole CS leader for any lane for the side of GG is Edigation's Talia.
Pretty good CSing out of Caitlyn and Cho'Gath. No 10 CS or 100 CS at 10 minutes, but definitely still pretty good. Lux having a little bit of a rough time, but that was as we had expected it would be. Zillion's harass not being as useful as we thought it may have been. Caitlyn just proved to be just a little bit too much, so I definitely didn't take that too much into account in my calculations. I just thought Zillion's harass would be just too painful. And then
well, the grass of the undying is not helping.
Yeah, that could be one.
He saw your prediction and he said, "You know what? I'm taking grass because I need to prove him wrong." Look at this. Zillion's got no poke.
The Fiora definitely didn't really lose lane. Cho'Gath just... The problem with Cho'Gath sometimes is that you think that, oh, he's just a tank. He's got a little bit of sustain, but like the other person's got so much harass, they should be able to win this. But sometimes he's just got so much sustain and just so much tankiness naturally that once he starts building the first or second part of his item, like not even the first full item, he's just so tanky that he's just unkillable at that point. And Cho'Gath is kind of hitting that point. He's just unkillable. Fiora can't find her ends.
He even got a feast stack off of the Twitch there in the bot lane. And actually a lot of big objectives secured now, extending that gold lead about 3.6k or so right now for the side of Into the Rabbit Hole as they have their eyes on this Infernal Drake. A couple of Zillion bombs being thrown in there.
Definitely not a bad Drake.
White Widow wants to steal, but he's in too late. Counter-Strike is there. Now it's over. There's the knockup. Does Ward hop away? No, he actually didn't avoid the animation. Has to flash away from White Widow. So the Infernal Drake now over to Into the Rabbit Hole. This after they got that top lane outer turret and barely saved their mid lane outer turret. Trading mid for top would have been a bad trade for them, but they get it and they still have the Rift Herald. Sign Spartan in trouble though. Now has to flash. Not sure if that was a failed flash. It was sort of very ambitious in the first place, but he survives. That's the important thing. Ooh, a binding and a final spark onto Luminous, but not enough damage just yet from the Lux. Doesn't have that completed Archangel's staff just yet. Still stacking up the tier.
Infernal Dragon's pretty nice for them. It just offers more damage to their unyielding poke. Another Ocean Dragon is coming down, so another dragon that they do prefer. A lot more than I would believe a GG would prefer. So curious to see how that goes through.
Indeed, here comes the knockup on a James Edwards. Good riposte there. And it will just leap his way away. But here comes that siege that we mentioned. A lot of damage there. Demolish getting charged up by Orca Master, but won't come through. Decent wave clear there for the side of GG, but overall, with the advantage and with a great siege comp, slowly but surely, they're hoping to push down this mid lane outer turret. There comes the Rift Herald for the side of Into the Rabbit Hole. And just kind of backing away on the defensive between the Demolish and the Rift Tail. This mid lane outer turret should fall no problem for Into the Rabbit Hole. Not much that LGG can do. Ooh, has to flash away from the binding. Once again, Zion Spartan very clutch on that CC. Looking great in the Morgana. Ooh, there comes the final spark, and the Zilean ult is burned, but not going to be actually procced. Heal used by Luminous, heal by Edegase, and flash by Rising Ashes. A lot of summoners burned, and still pushing Arya into the rabbit hole. They're going to get the mid lane inner turret now. Just continuing to push their advantage. Their gold lead now 4.2k, 4-1 in turrets, and they have 2 Drakes on their side. Baron up in about 2.5 minutes. Already fearsome pushing and siege potential from this team without the help of the Baron buff. Can't even imagine what it would be with the Baron buff. We'll see if LGG can prevent them from picking that up, if they can contest that purple monster of the Rift. It's Tenjong Sixpence heading into the jungle right now. White Widow leaping his way away, leap striking on to those Krugs. A lot of pings coming down around that area from the blue team.
Possibly talking about wording it up, because Baron is up in 2 minutes.
Very true. They want to get some control in that area. They already have a control ward on the Baron pit. And a lot of very deep wards for the side of Into the Rabbit Hole. You can see there. One a ways past the Raptors, other one behind that Wolves wall. Right now, just trying to push out those side waves, get a little bit more priority on that Baron area. Some waves coming through here from GG. They don't want to lose control of their own jungle, nor the Baron area. But it looks like Into the Rabbit Hole have their eyes on that bot lane inner turret. Here comes White Widow and James Edwards. A lot of damage on Zion Spartan. Final Spark is there. So much damage. There comes Tenjong Sixpence. 0-1 gets the kill. Here comes the Zilean ulti. Will not be procced. White Widow jumping in, trying to get it killed. And he does. Meanwhile, Tenjong Sixpence diving too deep and does fall. Counter-Strike able to stop all that Caitlyn damage. But now 0-1-1 trading with Luminous, who does not want any of this fight. Only a Bork. Still doesn't have that cold pop. 26 CS left. Well, Edegase trying to hold off Orca Master's split push there in the top lane. No MR from the Cho'Gath means that Talia is a little bit more fearsome, but no Zilean ulti. He could be in trouble here, but a great stun from Zilean, and actually the counter kill is picked up by Luminous. Good work from Rising Shadows, and here comes White Widow. He wants Zion Spartan. They want the kill. Final Spark does pick up the kill onto White Widow, but here comes James Edwards. There is the stopwatch, but still Cosby will fall. Double kill for James Edwards. A big overstep there from Into the Rabbit Hole. LGG capitalize on it. They lose 2 but find 4 kills, and more importantly, they protect that turret. This gold lead only 4k, not a whole lot right now. Game is far from over.
It's kind of one of those situations where you're thinking, you're kind of dead for this stopwatch. Is it really worth burning through? But it's also the point of sometimes you just kind of reflexively do it and then go, why did I do that? I'm dead no matter what I do. But really well played on that whole fight there. Like, it looks pretty disastrous for the Zilean, but that stun just managed to get the Caitlyn and give that Twitch just 1 kill to maybe catch up. He's been punished a lot. He's behind about 80 CS. It's huge. Definitely a very meaningful CS difference. It's over 7 kills, if I recall correctly, of a difference.
Here comes the Kane. James Edwards could be in trouble. This is a 1v2, taking a lot of damage, trying to get the return kill onto Kane. He just might, but barely falls to 0-1 in the end.
I don't think he had ult, or maybe he just didn't have enough mana for ult, but if he did have ult, I think he could have won that.
Could have made one of those 1v2 plays, but sadly for GG, they do not get the kill. They lose their top laner and the Ocean Drake as well. White Widow waiting here, but he's going to get spotted out. He'll just leap strike to his ally.
Another Infernal coming up very shortly, so this could be a very mana-sustained, heavy-hitting poke comp that they're running with the Lux, the Morgana, and the Caitlyn. This could be really painful.
Could indeed. Pushing all those waves. Orca Master is in that bot lane, still continuing to push. James Edwards on his way to meet that advance. Meanwhile, advancing into that red side jungle of LGG are into the rabbit hole, securing a lot of control around that Baron area. Rift Skylar is picked up. James Edwards on the hunt now, does have the Ravenous Hydra. Not sure what he's building towards next here. Does have the Kindle Gem, perhaps a Black Cleaver? Does have the Longsword as well, we'll have to see.
$100 difference now between Caitlyn and Twitch. I know I keep pointing it out, but this is such a massive difference to be at. Only 30 CS behind of the 10 CS per minute, or no, yeah, 10 CS per minute for Caitlyn. So excellent CSing on her part. It's really, really strong. Same with the Talia. 100 difference between her and Lux now at this point. Lux has kind of completely forgone the CS almost.
Yeah, pretty shocking CS differences. We don't see that very often.
Yeah, so you could consider Lux about equal with Twitch, especially when you consider the gold differences, 6,000 to 5,800, and then you got the massive difference between Kate and Talia, 9.6k, 7.7k. Could easily attribute that to the extra kills and assist. But these are kind of your big key players. Is the Cho'Gath and Caitlyn for the side of Into the Rabbit Hole, and then you've got kind of just standalone Talia. Yeah, kind of just standalone Talia for GG.
Both teams hovering around the Baron pit. That Violet Worm is up in the area. Here comes Righteous Glory. Cho'Gath does get stunned. Good bomb from Rising Ashes. White Widow is on the run. Now returning. Not sure what he's doing there. Actually, he just walked right back into Cho'Gath. Perhaps thought he was done for. Tencho and Sixpence, both junglers, going in 1v4 and dying. So there goes Tencho and Sixpence, and there goes White Widow. Both junglers down, but it is still the push on the side of Into the Rabbit Hole, although Edigate's doing a good job of clearing those waves out. But damage there into 0-1. Does have the fleet footwork, so he'll heal up a bit. Also has the red buff. Gotta be careful, though. I mean, good siege comp, but they don't want to overstep. That's the second time Tencho and Sixpence has kind of dove in alone, and it has actually paid the price for it. But White Widow really did the same, got caught out. Perhaps just accepted his fate, didn't even flash, just walked back into the Cho'Gath. Orca Master happy to have yet another feast stack from a champion.
Pretty hard to get those, especially when you need to be the one who kills them. So, good job for him.
Final spark used for wave clear. Now looking to get this turret are the Caitlyn and the Lux. Good binding there onto the Zillion. Here comes Fiora. James Edwards, though, taking a lot of damage. Might be diving too deep. Wants the kill, but won't find it. Now Rising Ashes flashes forward, but he could be gone. Luminous does get one kill, but the response is a triple for 0-1. Disaster for GG. Here's the flash and the feast from Orca Master. Yet another kill, a 1-for-4 overall. Zion Spartan probably happy to lay down his life for such a huge team fight win for his team.
A little bit questionable why Caitlyn stepped away from the wall. If you're fighting a Fiora and you have one stack left and you're able to put it against the wall, you usually kind of don't walk away from said wall that's offering you protection from a massively healing Fiora. But luckily for him, had enough damage, got the kill in the end, so it didn't really matter too much. But that could be the turning point next time around. If Fiora's able to land that last hit for that ult, that's a huge healing factor.
Indeed, but it is that bot lane inhibitor that falls for the side of Into the Rabbit Hole. They've now extended that gold lead to about 7.4k. 7.5k, actually. And right now, we could have some back from the mid lane, but Tencho and Sixpence feeling pretty good. He'll just back away.
So the next dragon, again, another Infernal Dragon popping up in 50 seconds. Should see that head go over to Into the Rabbit Hole. Not confirmed yet, but it's probably what we will see. Talia and Jax just trying to stay nearby, thinking that they just want to be there in case they're going to start doing the Baron, but they're heading for that dragon. They don't really need that Baron. Not yet, anyways.
And they love to have that Infernal Drake, yet another one. It is interesting that Baron has really not been a big point of contention for either of these teams just yet. Zion Spartan, though, is spotted out by James Edwards, but nobody going to engage just yet. That Caitlyn now with 3.5 items and such a huge CS lead, highest CS in the game, is doing a ton of damage. We're going to start up that Drake as soon as it spawns, and there they go. And Jax's top lane, they're looking to trade this for a top lane outer turret, it appears, as the Infernal Drake does go over into the rabbit hole.
Another Ocean. So, Ocean, Infernal, Ocean. So give a lot of mana sustain, a lot of health sustain for a Cho'Gath too. He doesn't even need to build the Warmogs like you'll see a lot of Cho'Gaths doing. He just has to step out of the battle for like a minute, or not a minute, but probably close to about 20 seconds, and he should be around full health just from the Oceans alone. If he did get a Warmogs, he could be healed up to full in like 10 seconds.
Right now, inside track to Baron has been earned by Into the Rabbit Hole, and they're going to start it. Here comes IGG. They're running no Mountain Drakes, and only 4 members of the team right now means that without the Cho'Gath...
dropped very low.
Oh, they might want the steal. Actually, it is Caitlyn. It is 0-1 who secures it. Smite came through, I believe, but a little bit early. Could have been stolen, but it was not. Thankfully, for Into the Rabbit Hole, they do pick up the Baron, but that was a close one.
Kayn got very low. If Zilean just had a little bit more damage, or if there was someone else there, like a Talia, that could have been a dead Kayn.
Perhaps that low health bar spurring him to smite a little bit early.
Yeah, I was just about to say, that's probably the reason. But regardless, it goes over to them. Double Ocean, double Infernal, Baron empowered team. This is looking to be pretty scary. She's even got the blue buff just for good measure.
That Kayn going full lethality and has the Shadow Kayn evolution, so not very tanky, taking a lot of damage there in that Baron pit, but did survive. But boy, is he going to do a lot of damage to that Talia, to that Twitch. He'll basically one-shot them if he gets his hands on them, so they got to be careful of that. Right now, this gold lead about 8K.
I think if you're Kayn, maybe looking at the items, you don't even want to go for Talia. Because I know Talia is like the stronger person on the side of GG, but that Saras is just a lot to burn through, and he's not exactly fed enough to get through it. I think you just kind of want to go for Twitch or go for Zilean so he can't ult anybody else.
Ooh, they burst down that top lane inner turret without a problem, only with a single minion there. Now pushing forward are Into the Rabbit Hole. They still have that Baron buff for quite a long time. A lot of damage done to Rising Ashes. Just a single crit there with Static Shiv. He almost falls, but a little bit of return damage there from Edagase. 0-1-1. You gotta be kind of careful. Oh, flash forward from Kayn. They're looking for the kill. Won't find it. All summoners and the Seraphs used by Edagase to get away from 10 shilling sixpence. But now they pick up that inhibitor. Looking for something, though. He is going to find the Twitch, but Zilean ulti is on him. Now looking for 0-1-1 is White Widow, who is on the back line, but binding is there, trap is there, and he does fall. 10 shilling sixpence getting soloed here by James Edwards. So a 1-for-1 right now. Both junglers dead, but perhaps looking to end the game. Here comes Righteous Glory from Orca Master. Exhaust is there. Waits for that to end. They still have the Baron buff. 1 Zilean bomb coming through. Black Shield will help him out. Fire, or Final Spark rather, with the fire element, with the Elementalist Lux skin.
So just looking to take a tower, not trying to push their luck too far. They're really showing a lot of patience here because they know it's not a gold lead that is easily or is impossible to throw. It's only 10,000. I know 10,000 is a lot in the professional level, but this is still a non-professional level. This is the kind of gold lead that you could still easily throw. You don't want to be too wary, but you also don't want to be too cautious because then you lose out on opportunities and give the enemy a chance to come back. Probably not going to see that. They still have half the duration on the Baron buff. Probably should just push down mid lane with the top inhibitor now open and just get down that last tower that's standing in their way in the mid lane and get all 3 inhibitors and then just push for the win, even when Bear is gone.
Continuing to push forward, Skill Cosby usually using those final sparks just to clear out the way. There's good binding will land onto James Edwards, but that Peacemaker will not connect. They continue to siege. Here comes Central and Sixpence. He wants the Talia, does ult, but Zillion ultimate is there. They get that cooldown from Rising Ashes for a little bit longer. Here comes the Cho'Gath, wants the feast. Zion Spartan gets the kill though. They're going to get that mid lane inhibitor.
Doesn't even get a chance to activate Seraphs.
Indeed, here comes White Widow with the flank. He wants something, but he's 1v5 right now and gets bursted down immediately. Here comes the ultimate from the Twitch, but he gets exhausted and killed by the final spark. Skill Cosby with the kill. Now James Edwards and Rising Ashes, the only members of LGG still alive. Nexus is exposed. What can they do? Seraphs is popped by Skill Cosby. There's the riposte. He wants the kill. He wants to do something, but he does fall to 0-1. The Zanyas protecting Skill Cosby and the Nexus falling, and that is victory for the side of Into the Rabbit Hole once again, as they will advance to the grand finals, well, the finals of our losers bracket against Becky's Babes, the winner of whom will advance to the grand finals tomorrow.
Great play out of the Caitlyn. Just a lot of great peacemakers, a lot of great damage, great positioning. A little bit reckless on the side of Kane, just a little bit, but I feel it's hard to pick an MVP here because I don't think there was one specific person who was the cause of, like, single-handedly the cause of their win. I think you could say that it's equal among them, but I'm gonna throw it over to Caitlyn because I think that her damage, her peacemaker landings, and in general her position most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, was pretty on par with what they needed in order to win. And of course, the obvious of putting the AD carry 100 CS behind you by about 20 minutes. 60 to 80, I don't remember which, but 60 to 80 by 10 minutes. It's definitely something commemorable.
Indeed, more than twice Luminous's Twitch's CS right there. I have to give my MVP to 01, 001, 0001, 01, as well, because he looked very impressive on that Caitlyn, and credit to Zion Spartan as well. I think that bot lane duo as a whole worked really well together and got that huge advantage together. Zion Spartan continued to land a lot of clutch bindings, forcing flashes or securing kills, that type of thing. Overall, though, I agree, it's tough to pick an MVP here because the whole of the team played really well. They really played around objectives properly. They sieged properly. They looked really good overall, and I think played very well, very cohesively as a team. So, well done by them overall. I think 01 is definitely my MVP as well. Just did so much damage on the Caitlyn and one lane so hard. It's hard to give it to anybody else, but credit to Zion Spartan and the rest of the team playing around that Caitlyn and just sieging and poking down the enemy just over the course of the entire game. Played a very clean game overall. You can see only 16-7 in kills, which is pretty conservative for most of the games that we've seen. Kind of a surprise, but I think it's evident of a very intelligent, patient, clean game from the side of Into the Rabbit Hole. Well done by them.
I definitely think High is a good MVP, but gotta remember, a lot of those bindings were landed by Zion Spartan. Not as many clutch bindings as I think last time, but definitely was a good factor in the reason why Caitlyn got ahead early on. There were plenty of bindings and great pushing from the Lux, despite being behind in CS early and giving up on CS later on. Is still something that was commendable from the Lux. A lot of necessary skill shots needing to land throughout a lot of that game landing. And then you've got the Cho'Gath, who was able to sustain in the lane of a Fiora, which can feel so oppressive, but just playing it really well, not really dying ever, just being a really strong tank presence for them, and being very patient, and still building a decent CS lead for himself against a Fiora, which I think is also impressive in itself. So it's not just Caitlyn. It was a lot of them all around. But I definitely think Caitlyn was the MVP, or rather, I lean the MVP over to Caitlyn because of, well, the reasons that you and I both just explained. But to give you guys a little bit of an update, this is we're gonna take a little 5-minute break because Into the Rabbit Hole just got out of 2 back-to-back games, looking to stretch their old bones, looking to go grab themselves some drinks. So they will be back momentarily. So we're going to be waiting on that before we can get you guys into Champion Select. But that's what we're looking at. It's just a short 5-minute break for Into the Rabbit Hole so they can rest their weary bones.
Fair enough. Well, maybe I'll take a brief intermission as well. On that note, I will be back shortly. All right. I have returned, and it appears that the players are just about ready to go. I'm seeing a 1 sec from Becky, so perhaps just a short while longer. We do have all the players in the lobby right now. Just, I believe, as Eohdorr said, a short break here, giving the players a rest. They have been playing a bunch of games in a row. Keep in mind, Into the Rabbit Hole playing all the way back from round number 2.
Oh, there we go. Into Champion Select. You muted Discord, so people didn't get to hear me sing my great song.
Ah, what a tragedy that is.
So Draven immediately banned away. Don't want to see any of that. And then Kite's famous Echo just taken off the table.
Some target bans coming through. 0-1 playing the Caitlyn last time. See if he brings that out again. Curious what kind of bans we see. We've been able to see Into the Rabbit Hole in 2 games now. So, and especially after the last game where LGG banned away basically all of their champions. We got to see them kind of show off their champion pools a little bit more. As we're seeing something of the same deal. The Draven banned away that 0-1 played in the previous game, and Cho'Gath banned away from Orca Master. He brought that out in the last game. Irelia taken away. So this is something that Kite looked very impressive on yesterday, playing the Irelia mid. Not going to be an option this time.
It is important to note that Becky's Babes were able to watch the entirety of the stream should they have chose to do so. So they have seen the entirety of, if they did watch the stream, the entirety of Into the Rabbit Hole's picks for the past 2 games. And they played against them in a match that we did not get to see, but there are 3 games that Becky's Babes and Into the Rabbit Hole, or Becky's Babes have looking at Into the Rabbit Hole and seeing what they have to pick/use. So a lot of information Becky's Babes have to go off of, quite frankly.
They do ban that Warwick away from 10 shilling sixpence, something that Sir Cave likes a lot too. But the Yasuo is going to be the lock-in for Tsungale, our first Yasuo of the day. Exciting to see, especially after his Fiora was taken away by the side of Into the Rabbit Hole. That's going to be his go-to pick. But instantly the response is that Morgana for Zion Spartan. He's looked great on it so far, no surprises there. And with Draven gone, 0-1 picks up the Caitlyn again. This lane won super hard in the last game. We'll see how good they'll do this time around. As Kane, another favorite of Sir Cave, is going to be locked in with the Warwick taken off the table. Not a big surprise. We'll see what Kite picks up, though. Is going to be the Lulu. Not sure if that's going to be Lulu mid, or I would assume it is Lulu support for Becky, something that she plays quite a bit. Also curious now about the Yasuo, if this possibly is a Yasuo mid, or if this is going to be Yasuo in the top lane for Tsungale.
I think we're expecting a Yasuo top, honestly. Tsungale plays it a lot more than Kite, from what I recall. And it's also a pick that I don't think I've seen Kite play. I don't think it's something that Kite would play, because he plays a lot of different champions, but a lot of them have some kind of same style to them. Like, he plays plenty of Fizz, he plays plenty of Katarina, Echo. He plays a lot of these burst or assassin kind of mid laners, so I don't think Lulu's who we're expecting for the mid lane, but they do know who they're going into, who is an Annie, once again picked up for skill Cosby.
Ezreal banned away as well. Hoping to get a better ADC matchup there. 4-0-1 in the bot lane.
You know, I wouldn't be too shocked to see a Fizz, honestly. Annie doesn't really have and he has plenty of base movement speed, but has no like flash or blink in her natural kit aside from the actual flash. So Fizz would probably be a pretty good choice here, in my opinion.
We'll see. Curious if they will ban away any other champions from Kite. Nah, just banning ADCs right now. Jhin and Ezreal both taken away. Both pretty strong picks, seen quite a bit in pro play. No big surprises in Sion as well being banned, along with the Zac, both strong champions. Sion particularly pretty much 100% pick ban in pro play in most regions. Zac not far from that, not going to be available for 10 shilling sixpence, so securing probably some better jungle and top lane matchups for Sir Cave and Soongale, as Eo mentioned, looking more and more like the Yasuo there in the top. And Kai'Sa locked in response to the Darius. So Darius locked in against Yasuo.
But you're missing the big point. We finally get to see Kai'Sa again.
Very true. At long last, Kai'Sa not banned. Kai'Sa has been a force to be reckoned with in the Korean playoffs thus far.
Almost as if they're stream sniping me. The Fizz lock-in.
Fizz is picked up for Kite, just as you said. The Prophet. Is this going to be a Master Yi? That would be very interesting. Not something we've seen today. I believe not something we've seen in the tournament thus far, but it is not. It is going to be the Skarner locked in for 10 shilling sixpence. So with a couple junglers taken off the table, he's going to fall back on that reliable Skarner. Especially post 6, Skarner can be so pivotal, at the very least, often forcing a lot of the enemy laners to pick up that Quicksilver Sash when they might not want to. So that's something of the Skarner tax. We used to call it the Malzahar tax, you know. So a pretty strong jungler there. But we do have all of our lineups locked in right now. Definitely curious to dive into some of these matchups. To begin with, I think the Darius versus the Yasuo could be interesting. I imagine both of them are going to be taking that Conqueror Keystone, so a big Conqueror 1v1 there in the top lane. Any thoughts on that one, AU?
Darius excels when people don't try to run away from him or they can't get away from him. That's his primary mode for getting kills. And Yasuo does have a decent escape path if the minions are stacked up correctly, or he leads Darius into his own minion line, then he'll have a path to get out. But I don't think Yasuo has the strength to fight the Darius, in my opinion. So I think the Darius will actually be able to overcome the Yasuo should Darius be allowed to get the first tier 2 item. I would imagine Darius will win this. Not massively, not a 3-0, but I could definitely see like a 2-1 or a 3-2. Barring jungler interference though. Because Skarner and Kayn are both really good junglers to get great ganking paths. Skarner's just so fast and has got a pretty good stun. Kayn has got the ability to walk through walls as if it was just thin air, so see if either of them wants to pressure that lane. Maybe looking to Sir Cave more to see if he'll pressure Orca Master, because Sir Cave could easily get Yasuo ahead. And a fed Yasuo early on is just terrifying. You don't want to face that. It's like a Riven. And a Darius fed early on is definitely scary, but it's not as scary as a Yasuo getting ahead. So I'm looking more towards Sir Cave to get Soongale ahead. Kite seems to be a person who usually can get ahead on his own, doesn't really need too much resources spent into them. And then Faplord plus Becky have never really been like a real big highlight of Becky's babes. We've seen a few AD carries working with Becky's babes in order to get them nice and ahead. Pretty strong presences. But it's mostly been the Kite, Sir Cave, Soongale show, if you know what I mean. It's been a large part of spend your resources into them. The bot lane won't feed, they won't go out of control. They'll kind of just be a stable force. So curious to see if O1 and Zion Spartan can do this. They've definitely shown the ability to be aggressive. So maybe Sir Cave will be drawn bot lane by the pure aggression. But as I said before, on the mid lane matchup, Should be pretty rough for Annie considering she has no dashes. She has no easy way to get out of the fizzle. Just ultimately has to rely on pure movement speed, which I don't know. I find it's pretty hard to react fast enough in order to get away from the fizzle by the time that you see it, if you have no kind of dash or something, or if you're not willing to flash it. So I imagine Fizz will gain the edge naturally. I imagine Yasuo will probably lose out early if left alone, so we may see Sir Cave up there, or we may see Sir Cave head down to the bot lane in order to get Faplord and Becky ahead, because they may be pressured by Hai and Zion Spartan.
We'll have to see. We are now loading into the Rift. Not too many surprises here on the Keystones. Double Exhaust and Area from both supports. Electrocute there from Fizz. Ignite from both mid laners. Predator on the Skarner. Dark Harvest from the King. Sometimes we see the King with the Electrocute, but won't be going with that. In the top lane, both Conqueror as well. Both these teams heading towards their jungles. We'll see if we see any early invades. We've seen a couple of those today, but not last game.
So, Dragon, no, it's a little bit early to call it about, but an Infernal Dragon, really nice if Sir Cave is going to be going that Shadow Hunter. Really nice if Kite is able to get ahead, if Soongale is able to get ahead. But on the other side, it's also pretty nice for Skill Cosby. Really adds on to the burst. Nice for Hai, because he will maybe be looking for that that poke-centered siege comp. So pretty nice damage to add on to that. So gonna see who wants to contest this, or who's going to be going for it early, or if it's even an objective they care about at all, because I do know that some people devalue dragons. I know I value a lot of the dragons a lot more than your average person. Like, so many times they'll just spam ping, guys, let's do dragon, ping, 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 and just get a whole bunch of, no, I need this wave. It's just, it definitely makes me feel like, come on, do you not care about, like, 8% increased damage?
No,
but
I minions. Minions, Zio. Nobody cares about dragons.
But anyways, we're finally here, so the winner will go on to face Obama-loving libtards.
A lot in the line here. Both teams want that grand final spot, but only one can get it. As laning phase is now well underway.
Until we develop a way for every team to make it in the grand final.
Yes. We have a number of mathematicians who are on that right now. How can one be two? But until they figure it out, one of these teams is going to be the winner, and one of them is going to be the loser. Who will it be right now? Only advantage on the map really is Orca Master on the Darius with a 12-3 CS lead to begin with, looking pretty good there in the top lane. We'll see how that develops. Sometimes the way waves crash and then, you know, push to the other way. Those CS leads can kind of twist around a little bit, but right now, feeling pretty good. Looks like he's pretty much zoning Soongale off of that wave, has the one level advantage. Going in the mid lane is Skill Cosby. Gets the Electrocute. A ton of damage from Kite. Almost looks like he could have all in with an Ignite there, but stays patient. Doesn't want to overextend.
It does open him up for a ganking opportunity from Sir Cave, but he's just not heading up there quite yet. Looks like he just wants to go into his own jungle, possibly go get the Gromp, and then... Or maybe he's looking to go bot? Who knows?
I definitely have my eye on Sir Cave. This guy is a very aggressive jungler, and he's playing the Kayn. He's got that ability to jump in there and get some of his lanes snowballing early, but will he do it? Right now, he's found the Skarner, 10 holding sixpence, very low. Definitely not able to duel with the Kayn right now. Skill Cosby is there to back him up, though. Sir Cave just picking up that Crystal Spire and maybe backing away. He's got a Fizz with him, though, and actually they're looking bot. Ward will spot them out if they go, though. Perhaps looking to go through there. Zion Spartan, they will have seen the Fizz now. They see the King coming. Good dodge there. Zion Spartan has the black shield, has to flash away, but Sir Cave secures the kill. No heal used there, actually, by 0-1. Perhaps thought that his support would be okay. Flashed by Zion Spartan, and he still falls.
So it looks like we've got our answer. Hai and Zion Spartan's aggressive nature have just driven Sir Cave to go down there instead of helping out Soon Kale. Or Soon Gale. Soon Kale either too, like
that's the vegetarian version of Soon Gale.
Yeah.
That's his Smurf.
It's not getting any help. Can't even see them on the map, honestly, so can't really blame Sir Cave. But no Infernal Dragon pressure quite just yet.
They have a ton of wards in that area. You can see they got something like 7 wards all around that Infernal Drake. I bet it's on their minds. So we have a trade here in the top lane. Soon Gale taking a bit of damage, but overall staying pretty healthy. But he is falling behind in CS, having to play pretty safe right now. He's actually got half of Orca Master's CS right now. Like Eo mentioned, that Darius definitely getting the better of that matchup right now.
So far, no, like, 60 different CS, but pretty dang close to it with the Darius and the Yasuo. Got a lot of fallback pings on Hai and Zion Spartan.
Kite building up a lead of his own in the mid lane as well, though. 43-25 right now, looking good on the Fizz.
I think they're looking to sneak the dragon. Becky's babes do suspect that this is happening.
Here it comes, wants to kill on the Still Cosby. And there it goes.
But they decide to back off, thinking the dragon's just not worth it with Fizz getting the kill in the mid lane.
Quick tower dive there from Kite, no problem, picks up the kill. All summoners used by Skill Cosby, but still falls to the Fizz. Orc Master now roaming down, getting a nice ward there. Doesn't want Sir Cave jumping in, but now after Becky's Babes pulled off of that Infernal Drake, or rather, sorry, after Into the Rabbit Hole pulled off of the Infernal Drake, it is Becky's Babes who will pick it up. 2 kills in an Infernal Drake, 1.2k gold lead for them.
It's another Infernal Dragon coming up once again. It's really what I think that it's what you want when you have a high damage Fizz, possibly a high damage Kayn looking by the build, and a high damage AD carry, like, and top lane. They're almost all damage on the side of Becky's Babes. It's perfect for what you want.
You can see Kite, the pattern kind of predictable here. He dives in, he gets the electrocute, and then he just takes that playful trickster out, drops aggro from the tower, but knowing what's coming, Skill Cosby still not able to do much with that Annie. Really struggling against the Fizz right now, as here comes Kite. Might look for the kill. There comes the ultimate from Annie. Kite actually forced the flash away. Potentialing Sixpence is here. He does not have the ultimate. Does flash, gets the stun, the smite onto Kite, who is still on the run. Sir Cave is coming in. He's trying to help his mid laner. Potentialing Sixpence wants the kill, but won't find it.
Really aggressive to do that without trying to launch your ult first. I don't know if he didn't have it up at the time or not, but the low range of your initial ult throw, if you're Fizz, if you're throwing it like in melee range, you do maybe 40 damage with it. So it's something you want to throw from a nice distance, or at least a mediocre distance. And just kind of going in when Annie had burned her stun is a good idea, but maybe just a little bit too eager without the ult.
Yeah, we saw him play a little bit safe early on, but now playing a little bit too aggressive perhaps. But uses the flash and still lives, and actually gets Tenchilling Sixpence's flash to boot. So, fairly decent trade there, but he does have to be careful. Oh, looking for Zion Spartan, who could be in a lot of trouble here. Ultimate available for Sir Cave, but it is the Kaiser who picks up the kill. So action in the bot lane at last, or rather once again. Zion Spartan falling. Now 0-2-0 on that Morgana. That bot lane into the rabbit hole. They looked very good in the previous games, but now pushed up, playing aggressively with the Caitlyn and paying for it twice. Sir Cave making his way down there a number of times.
Some pretty aggressive play out of Sir Cave, focusing for once on the bot lane. Probably just throwing a lot of respect over to Hai and Zion Spartan, recognizing that this may be disastrous if just left alone. And after seeing the last game, I could definitely see why.
Ooh, flash away from Soongale. Saw that Darius closing in, wanted none of that. Is down 20 CS, playing pretty safe, but I would say doing a decent job of mitigating what looks like a bad matchup, trying to not get too far behind, but he is behind. Meanwhile, on the mid lane, Kite, 76 CS to Skill Cosby's 39 right now. Not to mention the kills. He might want another one. Just gets that electrocute proc, but Skill Cosby trading back pretty well. Here comes Temsling Sixpence, does have the ultimate. But Kite will just take that playful trickster and jump away.
Really hungry for that kill, but just can't find it.
Temsling Sixpence indeed devoting a lot of attention mid lane, but not able to find any kills onto Kite. Ultimate from Kite will not connect there. So he'll just continue to farm it up, but he is 35 CS up over his laner and has a kill as well. Gold lead there in the mid lane, about 1.2k right now. Overall, Becky's Babe's up about 2.1k.
Kite getting pretty dang aggressive, especially with Skarner there. I don't know if he saw him going in, but definitely made Kite not want to stay to get that little bit of extra damage that he could have, because it could have been very scary.
Temsling Sixpence clearly hoping to protect his mid laner, but not able to get any counter kills just yet. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, looks like Lord's Kaiser is getting a little bit of a CS lead right now, about 12 up, and has that kill too. Becky's Babe's bot lane starting to build up a slight advantage down there. Orca Master extending that CS lead there in the top lane, even a little bit further up now, about 33 CS. We'll see how many of those minions under tower Soongale can take down. Looks like he's going to reduce that to just about 26. Once again, Temsling Sixpence is around the mid lane, perhaps looking to come in. Yes, here he comes. He does have the ultimate available. There's the stun from Skill Cosby. They want to get the playful trickster out. Can they get it? Here comes Sir Cave with the counter. There's the Fizz ulti from Kite. They're looking for the turret on Skarner now. He is gone. Sir Cave has the kill, but the counter kill on the Kite. Now running away is Skill Cosby, but Sir Cave wants it. There's the ultimate from Kane. Flash from Orca Master trying to get Sir Cave. There comes the ultimate from the Yasuo. Sir Cave still alive, but falls to Tibbers from the Annie. Now Soongale versus Orca Master. Orca Master not looking good. Soongale wants that kill. There comes the dunk, the last drop, the bleed, and he does fall. Orca Master barely survives.
I think Yasuo was hoping that the turret wouldn't be enough to get him that low, but once he saw the bleed and realized that the turret shot was coming, he thought, okay, I need to try to go in for this, but unfortunately for him, it was just too much. He could not catch up to Darius in time, and Darius's Q would have killed him anyways, so well played out of Orca Master.
Very chaotic fight there in the mid lane. Looks bad for Kite initially, but they do get the kill. They turned on to Temsling Sixpence so quickly. It's right here in the bot lane. Actually provokes the Lulu ultimate there. Wild growth perhaps unnecessary. As now, with their eyes on the Infernal Drake, here comes into the rabbit hole, but Sir Cave and Kite are on the hunt. Temsling Sixpence flashes away, but Skill Cosby has no flash to speak of. Looking for the turn on the Kaiser. Lord will just back away, though. Does have to flash and heal, but now Caught is 0-1. He'll go down. The Skarner has no flash. He went back in to try to save his teammate, but now he could be in trouble. Flash from Kite. Still looking for that Skarner. The smite is there. He wants to get away, but here comes Sir Cave. Another smite comes through, and the kill to Sir Cave. 5, 1, and 2 on that Kane now, and he's going to head back to that Infernal Drake, pick up double Infernal for his team. Looking very strong on that Kane, and Fizz happy to have those buffs too.
So as the Infernal Dragon falls down, another Infernal Dragon, that'll be triple. It is going to be huge for the side of Becky's Babes.
Happy to have it. Their gold lead extended now to, looks like about 3.6k.
Not too big, not too insurmountable. They don't have the lead quite yet, but things are looking good for them. With Kane, who looks to be going assassin, or Shadow Kane specifically.
Flash away from Sugil.
But anyways, so 5, 1, and 2 is exactly what you want to see on a Shadow Kane, because it's just so terrifying that there's no way to really come back in a lot of situations. And you've got the Fizz and the Kaisa, who have got a little bit of gold in their pocket from their CS leads. A nice 60 CS difference between Kite and Skill Cosby. Not too big of a CS difference between High and Fap Lord, but still 10 CS gold lead. Still something. And the gold that they have, and the difference between that.
Here comes Kite. He wants that kill. He doesn't have the Ignite rather, but he should still get it. Proto Belt and one more auto. Tibbers wants revenge, but not going to find it. Kite will just dispatch that rampaging bear with ease. Here comes Sir Cave, though. They want the kill on Orca Master. No flash available for the Darius. There's the last breath from the knockout from Kane. Good synergy there, and Sir Cave picks up the kill. 6 kills now on that red Kane. Kite, meanwhile, like knocking down this mid lane outer turret, but Tensioning Sixpence wants to ward him away. Will he ult here? Playful Trickster, he does get away. Ooh, he does use the Impale there, but not a lot of damage there. I mean, this is a full tank starter. He could actually be in trouble here. Kite doing a ton of damage to Playful Trickster, and he gets the kill and says thank you for the double buffs as his teammates pick up that first turret in the top lane.
That's a 4-level difference between Fizz and Skarner, and he's an assassin who doesn't do immediate damage right off the bat. So you can't underestimate him too easily, or else he'll do exactly what he just did.
Fizz with only the Proto Belt and the Sheen already. Kite getting very fed there in the mid lane. 4-1-4, and his Kane, Sir Cave, 6, 1, and 2 as well. Big advantages across the map. Bot lane probably the place where Into the Rabbit Hole have lost the least, but they still lose their turret there. 2 turrets down now, and the gold lead about 6.7k, leaping upwards for the side of Becky's Babes. Sole remaining outer turret for the side of Into the Rabbit Hole is that mid lane outer turret, but it's really low. You can see now Kite has the damage with that Playful Trickster to burst down the wave in an instant. Flash away from Skill Cosby, but he's still almost one shot, just one QWE there from Kite. That rotation enough to take down Skill Cosby despite the flash, and the turret goes to boot. 3 turrets to 0, and now approximately 8k gold lead for Kite. Doesn't have the ultimate up just yet.
It's exactly what I was talking about. It's hard for an Annie who's doesn't really have any dashes to get away from the fizzle, and even though you think, okay, I got stun, I should be fine. At least the moment I'm unstunned, I'll just stun the Fizz. But you got to think, okay, wait, he's got he's got a Playful Trickster. He'll just do it immediately. So the Fizzes usually like to wait just a split second for you to throw out the ult, because they're expecting.
Here comes From the Waters on design. Spartan bursted down immediately. Kite has the kill. Now he wants 2. He's looking for 1 who flashes and heals and jumps away. Well, growth comes through on Dolores Kaiser. However, here comes the Oracle Master Darius. They want the kill on Kite. Flash, but Kite still gets away. The Playful Trickster Becky flashes away. A lot of summoners used on both sides, but in the end, it is just the Morgana that falls. Meanwhile, however, Tsungale and Sir Cave continue to get objectives. They pick up that Rift Herald after Orca Master TP'd bot. And really, a great play for Becky's Babes. They get the Rift Herald and a kill and lose nothing on the back of it besides some summoners from their support. Map sort of reset right now. We'll have to see what the next objective is. Baron is up in 1 minute, so that could be what Becky's Babes are looking to secure. Right now they have a ton of control in the area. They have some wards in onto the red side jungle of Into the Rabbit Hole. A lot of wards in that area, Into the Rabbit Hole, just hoping to secure something. Meanwhile, Tsungale just having his way with the Raptors. Kite able to pretty much just go wherever he pleases. He's not Dr. Mundo, but he can just playful trickster his way out of trouble anytime he wants. With the Protobelt and the Lich Bane, he has enough CDR now that he can use that all the time. There comes the Chum the Waters, will not connect. Playful Trickster looking for something. There comes the anti-ultimate. Big Wild Growth knocks up 4 members of Into the Rabbit Hole. Now going into Tsungale. He wants the last breath. Kite has the kill onto the Caitlyn. There comes another kill for the Kai'Sa. There's the last breath that comes through. Skill Cosby is down. They're chasing down the last member Into the Rabbit Hole. Double kill for the Yasuo. Lord's Kai'Sa says, forget it. We don't need a Skarner. We got 4 kills. Let's get the bottom lane inner turret, and now they're looking for more.
Or maybe just Yasuo is looking for more, looking to... Skarner's trying to stop the Rift Hero from doing something. He should smack into the turret.
Ooh, they want that Infernal. Triple Infernal for the side of Becky's Babes, as if they didn't do enough damage already. Now they've got 3 of those fiery buffs. They're going to be feeling good.
Any other dragon is just... I don't know. I think it's just icing on the cake. Ocean is nice for when you get away and you're running away from someone. It'll be a nice source of sustain, I guess. But it's definitely something that's far more geared towards Into the Rabbit Hole here for the Morgana and for the Caitlyn. Not really necessary or even something you're prioritizing as Becky's Babes, but I don't know, maybe you just want to take it in order to keep it away from Into the Rabbit Hole, or just because you want that that other dragon to make you feel good. But in 3 Infernals, man, is this Kayn going to hurt? Is Fizz going to hurt? 7-1 and 5, 6-1 and 3. Becky's Babes looking very hungry for that grand final. Do not want to have any chances of being knocked out.
Some very scary items coming through. Kite well on his way to that Rabadon's Death Cap. Meanwhile, Death's Dance already picked up for Lord's Kai'Sa. Meanwhile, Sir Cave looks like he's building towards the same item. And that Guardian Angel, there's Chum the Waters, and in an instant, Zion Spartan is gone. Kite able to just drop turret aggro, and then dropping the turret are his teammates, as there goes that mid lane inner turret. Becky's Babes extending their gold lead to 11.3k now. Practically insurmountable. Perhaps not completely hopeless, but boy, is it going to be tough sledding for Into the Rabbit Hole. Here comes Tensioning Sixpence. He wants that Yasuo, but Guardian Angel is still available. Tensioning Sixpence hoping to get him. Not sure what the point of that Impale was with no team base around. He could be in trouble now because Kite is there. No GA for the Skarner, and he is gone. Tsungale with the kill, getting on the board as the Yasuo. Great anti-ultimate from Skill Cosby. They do kill Becky. Kite is playful trickstering his way away. Tsungale is on the run. Kite does live. Orcamaster really wants that Fizz, but they're trying to get him. Orcamaster does actually get the kill. Now he wants the Kai'Sa, but Death's Dance helping out a ton there. There goes Tsungale. Even with the GA pop, he still dies. Overall, a 2 for 3, but Sir Cave, who wasn't there, does secure that bot lane inhibitor turret. A chaotic fight, not what Becky's Babes wanted, but...
A little bit too eager to get back in on the Darius. Saw the Q, but his brain probably didn't register it, or his mind was telling him no, and his body just said, we're fine, let's just go for it, and ended up dying to the Darius Q. Unfortunate for him, but definitely fortunate for Orcamaster. And these kind of fights are exactly what Into the Rabbit Hole need. They need just some kills, because they need some gold in their pockets. This is a 12,000 gold deficit. We're close to the land of no return.
Yeah, Baron hasn't even been picked up yet, and really into the rabbit hole have almost no business trying to contest it, but they might have to. You got a team with 12k gold lead, picks up Baron. That is the final nail in the coffin. Right now, Becky doing her best to secure some vision in that area, really give them full control of that Baron pit. As the rest of her team, 3 members strong, looking to push down that mid lane, get those waves well on their way, cruising into the base of Into the Rabbit Hole. Doing their best to wave clear our Into the Rabbit Hole, however, Kite is in the bot lane. That Fizz split push in full swing right now. 10 shilling 6 pence, 0-4 and 2 on the Skarner. Pretty much just an impale bot now. Biden does land though. Playful Trickster will come out, you have to assume, from Kite. Protobelt is dead. There's Chum the Waters, but he is impaled and gone. 5 members strong are into the rabbit hole, but they were giving up the Baron for free for a kill onto the Fizz. They took everybody over to that bot lane to get the kill, and now nobody can test the Baron, and a Kai'Sa, a Yasuo, and a Kayn. They're going to tear that purple worm to shreds, and they do. Baron buff to the side of Becky's Babes.
Actually, he's not a worm, he's a serpent.
It's a metaphor.
Actually, don't know if he's a serpent. But regardless, not too bad of a trade. Definitely not someone you want to kind of have die for it, but he did do his best to get the Baron for his team, so can't really blame him. It's a good objective trade in mind. A kill for Baron, definitely something I would take.
I'm not sure if he used the Playful Trickster for wave clear, but if it was on cooldown or not, but he didn't use it during that fight. Didn't even use Flash. Seems like he was just kind of like, they're all here. Baron, I'll just die. No big deal. And it ends up getting his team about a 12.7k gold lead right now. They do have that Baron buff, looking to push down some turrets. All of the outer and inner turrets are down for the side of Into the Rabbit Hole, including that inhibitor turret in the bot lane down as well. 7-0 in turrets right now, and triple Infernal for Becky's Babes. A very clean game from them so far.
I can't actually tell you that he did have it up for most of that fight. He just didn't use it because there were very few windows that he could have. He was rooted a lot and then suppressed
Here
for it.
Here comes Chum the Waters onto Orca Master, and he is gone. Sir Cave gets a double knockup. Does have the ultimate. Will he use it? Does get impaled and taking a lot of damage now, and killed before he has a chance to ultimate. However, it looks like Becky's Babes just have their eyes on the Nexus turret. They say we may have lost their jungler, but here comes Skill Cosby. There's the Wild Growth. Doomgale is diving in. Kite is there. A ton of damage coming through from Becky's Babes. The Kai'Sa is firing away. The heal will not stop it. There is Kite. The ultimate from Zion Spartan will not do a whole lot. Dodging the binding. A good crit there from 0-1 to get the kill on Kite. Finally, they lose 3, but the bot lane duo of Becky's Babes stands tall. That Kai'Sa at full health, and now heal is used. The Nexus is exposed. It's gonna fall, and there it is. The explosion comes through as Into the Rabbit Hole does finally fall to Becky's Babes, who have earned the right to head to the grand finals and play against the Obama-loving libtards in that series tomorrow.
Very well played out of Becky's Babes. It's almost a completely different team than what we've seen from yesterday. Yesterday, they did seem partially unorganized. They seemed like they had pretty glaring weaknesses. This time around, they took someone who we saw being pretty dominant throughout all the other teams that they fought, and just kind of took them to town, showed them where the bar was, showed them where the church was, made sure they knew where to get groceries, and gave them the grand tour, if I dare say so. Great plays coming out of Kite as expected, a real superstar for this team. Sir Cave, though, is who I'm going to give the MVP for, because he was just so aggressive, getting Kai'Sa ahead so early on. And I want to say that he was a pretty big part of what Becky's Babes did in order to get ahead. You could also say Kite is an MVP as well, and it was definitely a difficult choice between them two, but I think Sir Cave was just a little bit more influential throughout the game to give Becky's Babes what they needed in order to win.
I agree completely. I really thought that every member of Becky's Babes shone at multiple points throughout the game. They really looked great in those team fights, and there was a lot of clutch plays from everyone. But I think I have to agree, Sir Cave, early on in this game, before they got into the team fights, before they had the Fizz who was so fed, it was Sir Cave who got those early advantages. They talked about this guy is a really aggressive jungler. He was all over the place. He got a bunch of early kills, made the Skarner practically irrelevant early on. He was all over the place, particularly in the mid lane, to make sure Kite would be okay. Because remember, early on, Kite didn't have a massive advantage. He did play super well, but Sir Cave was always there to back him up, and he helped snowball the entirety of his team. And basically, it was around him that the team built up this huge lead, and then was able to close it out so cleanly. So he's my MVP, but certainly congratulations to the whole of Becky's Babes. They played really well and cohesively as a team and secured so many objectives. I mean, getting Triple Infernal, getting the Baron while Kite was split pushing bot, really just played the map perfectly.
So is Sir Cave your MVP as well?
He is indeed.
Man, double MVP. Well done overall to all of Becky's Babes, but definitely can't overlook how well Fatlord played the champion. Kaisa, he played it really well. Kite definitely was a huge part of the game and getting them that Baron. So a lot of Becky's Babes stepping up this time around. So we should see them getting their rematch in the grand final against the Obama-loving libtards.
Will be a lot of fun. Eagerly awaiting that match. We're going to see some great League of Legends here today. Fun watching Becky's Babes play really an immaculate game today. Congratulations to them on the win, and best of luck to both them and the Obama-loving libtards tomorrow. I cannot wait to cast that. We'll see you guys then for the grand finals of Party Brawl VI. With that, any closing remarks from you, Eohdorr?
Ban Evelyn.
With that in mind, congratulations to the winners. Best of luck to them. Once again, thank you to all of our viewers. Thank you to all of the teams participating. We had a ton of fun casting, so thanks for having us, Becky and the Party People server. We will see you guys tomorrow.